around and they love to play for.
Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION-NWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got Sunday Night Football, the Los Angeles Rams versus the Detroit Lions. Kickoff is going to be here in roughly 20 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get settled in and discuss this big Sunday morning, afternoon, and night of games. Let's go, baby. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the best wide receivers to come right out of the gates in a long, long time, Puka Nacua. And on the right, one of my favorites, the sun god, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Let's go, baby. Rams, Lions. Let's go, baby. I am ready. Tyler in the building. What's good? How are you? Eagles look good. Obviously, the offensive line and the defense still have a hell of a lot of work to do. But again, with no Jason Kelce, there's going to be kind of an adjustment period with Juergens. Not the same type of talent, but at least you ended up getting the dub. And hopefully the NFL at some point will learn to, I know they want to make money. And I know they love to expand the game, but it's really about money. But it just seems like every time we end up going to an international game, we always have someone big that ends up getting hurt based off the turf, the grass, the conditions. And, I get it. The NFL wants to get more rich. The NFL wants to be able to sell more jerseys. The NFL wants to expand globally. But we need to make sure that if we are going to be playing with our best athletes on planet Earth, at least have a field, that is good enough for some of these players. And obviously it wasn't necessarily a field issue with the Jordan Love injury. It was more of a, Jalen Carter maybe being a little bit dirty and, the MCL got sprained and whatnot. But other than that, I think Jalen Hurts is a stud. You got Devontae Smith, you got A.J. Brown, you got plenty of pieces. And then the big story was obviously Saquon Barkley, giving you the Christian McCaffrey effect. John in the building, what's good? Go Bucks. And again, Baker Mayfield was baking today. Rashad, right? Mike, Chris, Jalen, everyone came to play. And it's always a good start to a season when you can get a dub. But even if your team ended up losing week number 1, you're still able to hopefully rebound as you go into week number 2. And it's not going to get any easier, obviously, for my Buccaneers after beating the Commanders, which we should have beaten. We're going to be playing the Detroit Lions, the team that you see here today. And again, we played in the regular season when we wore the creamsicles. We ended up losing. We ended up playing them in the playoffs. We ended up losing. But it feels like, we might lose next week. But I definitely feel that we're going to give our best effort, and it'll be a little bit better of an effort than the 2 games, I think, from last year. We still have some holes on the roster, but adding Jalen McMillan, as the number 3, adding Bucky Irving as the RB2, obviously will give us a little bit of depth. Now, the Lions are definitely going to be considered, one of the teams that a lot of people think that are going to make it to the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship game. And I don't blame them. Obviously, I think Tampa can win the NFC South. But as far as making it all the way to the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl, I don't know about that. A lot would have to go right for Tampa, and a lot of injuries would have to happen to the other teams in the NFC, like the Niners, the Lions, and a few others. But, you never know what can happen in the NFL season. Uncle Mo is crazy with momentum. And as long as you're hot and healthy and you get into the dance, you get into the playoffs, anything could happen. Let's go, baby. What's my prediction after week 1 in what regards? Like, are you talking about who I think, like, what teams are good, what teams are bad, who I think is going to the Super Bowl, NFC, AFC championship game? Be more specific, Tyler. Let's go, baby. I'm ready. And again, I got fantasy football. We got a lot of people in our league. Reflect. Again, there's going to be a lot of people that have good drafts, right? But when it comes down to it, I really feel week in and week out, it's going to be very difficult to be able to get past me and reflect. Congratulations to your Hawks as well. I know it was a little scary there, a little bit late with the Denver Broncos. Obviously, Seahawks and Bucks are similar teams where, we're going to have a chance possibly to make the playoffs, but we don't really know how far we can really go compared to the upper echelon. If we ended up playing like the Niners or the Lions. You guys have a good record against the Lions. Us, not so much. But at least on the fantasy football side, I feel that projected points every week should come between you and me. And not only projected points going into the week, but at the end of the week. If we end up getting all our guys to hit, there's a very good possibility we hit 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, and you never know. There might be even a couple games of 180, 190, or 200 out of you and me reflect, as well as maybe a couple people that are in the league as well. Megan in the building, what's good? Well, from watching your guys' game, and I watched Red Zone, and I watched your guys' complete game, at the beginning of the first half, it almost looked like your guys' offensive line got worse from last year. Now, I do like your guys' defense. The defense seemed like it was pretty sharp, but it definitely was kind of a weird score early on where it was like 5-3 and like 9-8. It was almost like a baseball score rather than a football score. But then once the Broncos settled in and the Seahawks settled in, and then they made their adjustments. But when you saw some of those mental errors, not necessarily all by Geno, but Geno had a couple mistakes. The offensive line had some mistakes. The defense really tried hard to make up for it, and they did. But again, it's the first game of the season. You're at home. You're wearing the throwbacks. And again, you're a better team than the Denver Broncos, so you should have won that game. If you guys would have lost that game, it would have been a big disappointment. And I'm not saying that the Denver Broncos are a bad team, but that's a team that you should have beat. Just like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Washington Commanders. We easily, if we would have not executed, maybe the game would have been a little bit closer. Or if Jaden Daniels actually trusted his teammates and decided to throw the ball instead of running the ball 100 times in the game, maybe the game would have been a little bit closer. But in that same type of aspect, the Bucs should have beaten the Commanders. If the Commanders would have beat the Bucs, it would have been a huge upset. Same thing with the Broncos with Bo Nix beating the Hawks, on the road. That would have been crazy. So even though the games might have been a little bit closer than comfort, at the end of the day, you ended up getting your dub. No, there's no trick. Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous. Again, you're going to be going through, ups, and you're going to go through downs. You got DK, you got Lockett, that was playing with a little bit of an injury. You got JSN. Again, if you're going to point the blame, and I know a lot of Hawk fans, regardless if they're smart or maybe, they're bandwagon or they don't really understand football, but again, a lot of people might end up blaming the wrong people, like blaming DK or blaming Geno, but in the reality, the Seattle Seahawks are kind of like the Oregon Ducks, where our offensive lines aren't very good, at least at this point in the season, and our defenses are pretty solid. And, so it seems like McDonald is getting that defense right, just like with Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks, but we both have a lot of work to do on that offensive line, and hopefully things will get a little bit better as the season goes on. And as anybody knows in football, when your offensive line is better, not only can you pass protect, the quarterback can go through their progressions, first read, second read, third read, but it also makes your running game better. But we did see flashes of Kenneth Walker III with that leaping touchdown late in the second half, which was nice to see. And again, not every team in the NFL or in college football is going to have a good offensive line. And if you want to be able to go the distance and make a deep, deep run in the NFL, not just win the division or get a wild card, you have to have a good offensive line, because that's really the gasoline in the Lambo or the Ferrari. You can end up having quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and that's like a brand new Lambo or Ferrari in your driveway. It looks nice. The pieces shimmer, right? But at the end of the day, if there's no gasoline in there, you're not going anywhere. All you do is got really shiny pieces with shiny rims and a body kit, maybe a nice system, leather seats, but you need that gas to be able to make the team go. And again, not the best performance for the Oregon Ducks, not the best performance by the Seattle Seahawks, but at the end of the day, it was ugly, but we got the dubs at the end of the day. Let's go, baby. This should be a really good matchup, and obviously I'm very excited with this one too because I got Cooper Kupp and I got Sam Laporta. So obviously I'm trying to score big here tonight, and then I got Christian McCaffrey on Monday night. And that's one thing about fantasy that's exciting is that when you end up getting players and they end up playing on Thursday night, Sunday night, or Monday night, it gives you a little bit extra juice, going into the game. And I like the way that the Rams play with their offense. I like the way that Detroit Lions play with their offense. But the real big question marks for both of these teams are going to be defense. Are you going to have one? Aaron Donald has retired. What are we going to get out of the Rams D? Are they even going to have one? Is this going to be a high-scoring affair, 34-31, something of that nature? Or is one team going to end up, tightening up a little bit? And on the Detroit Lions side, they ended up spending some money, and they ended up, trying to draft particular pieces on the defense that really wasn't that great. They had flashes last year, but if the Lions defense can ever catch up to the offense, and again, they weren't really very good at defense last year, and they almost made the Super Bowl. So just think, if they can just get a couple more pieces of continuity, and chemistry, the Lions, even with the defense not being perfect, they might be able to go the distance. But once the defense ends up being top 10, top 15 with this top 5 offense, that might be what it takes to be able to compete with, like, for example, a Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl if the Chiefs were to get there. So, again, there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up in week 1. But let's go over some of the scores here in week 1 that we actually got to be able to see here. And thank you, Megan, for the like and the share on the Twitter/X. And I did notice, through Peacock on the TV, on the app, compared to Peacock on my computer, on the TV app, it's slightly slower, maybe about 5 or 10 seconds. But for me, I'd rather watch the game, on a 50, 60-inch screen rather than a minimized little screen. But if it definitely gets out of hand, I'll switch it over, to just what I'm watching on the computer. But I definitely have to experiment because we've been getting a lot of these broadcasts on Peacock. ESPN's ticker typically gets updated with the touchdowns and the big plays before I even see the action on the TV. And so I feel that Peacock is regional. So some people, when they're watching the game on Peacock rather than NBC on cable or satellite, sometimes that their feed is going to be a little bit slower, like a streaming link. And some people are going to get Peacock faster depending on where they live than others. I don't know why it does that, but that's what I've experimented and found out. All right, let's go to the action here on Sunday. Buffalo Bills 34, Cardinals 28. Patriots 16, Bengals 10. And like I was telling DX and all the Bengals fans, you don't have Tyler Boyd. You don't have Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase is angry. He hasn't got the contract that he wanted. T. Higgins was injured. And you definitely saw Joe Burrow not looking good. And that's the thing that I tried to be able to warn people. It's like you can be a Cincinnati Bengal fan and you can love Joe Burrow. But again, if you don't have a good offensive line and the defense, even though they did a decent job, you're going to end up losing week 1 to the New England Patriots. And that's probably something that surprised a lot of people, including Britt. And again, congratulations on the week 1 win with Mayo and company. So again, I feel like with the Bengals, they took for granted Joe Mixon. They took for granted Tyler Boyd. Offensive line really wasn't good, and New England did enough on the road. It was probably one of the poorest performances I've seen out of Cincinnati at home in a long, long time. But congratulations to Britt and the Patriots. No one expected you guys to win week 1, including Patriot fans, and you ended up getting the head coach first win against Cincinnati. So congrats there. That was a big surprise. Vikings 28, Giants. I don't even know if I really want to say 6. They had terrible throwback uniforms, and they looked like a throwback team from back in the day that didn't even know how to play football. Bears 24, Titans 17. Caleb Williams didn't really have the best game in week 1, but he did get the win. The special teams and the defense is what won the game for the Bears, but congratulations there. Saints 47, Panthers 10. At the end of the day, the Panthers are ass. They're the worst team in football. Anybody that plays the Panthers seems like you're going to end up winning. Steelers 18, Falcons 10. Kirk Cousins, everyone told us that the Saints and the Buccaneers are washed, and then Atlanta's going to win it with Kirk Cousins. From what I saw in game 1, Kirk Cousins might end up getting benched sooner than later. Michael Penix Jr. might give them a better chance to win. Atlanta did not look good. You can't win at home against the Steelers, against Justin Fields. you don't deserve to be in the playoffs or even in the conversation with the Saints and the Bucks. Facts. Sorry, Falcons fans. Sorry, Shep. Dolphins 20, Jags 17, Texans 29, Colts 27. I thought that even though the Colts lost, AR played great. They just need to clean up the defense a little bit. But I thought the Colts played well, and I could see them still in the playoffs, even though they lost only by 2 to the Texans. Chargers 22, Raiders 10, Seahawks 26, Broncos 20. Nice win there at home. Cowboys 33, Browns 17, and my Tampa Bay Bucks 37, Commanders 20. And now we got the Rams and the Lions here coming up in just a couple minutes. Let's go. Puka Nacua, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the sun god. I can't wait for this matchup. Let's go. And I definitely could have went like a Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford, but, you know, the wide receivers is where it's at. Or I could have went with like running backs with Kyron or with Jahmyr Gibbs, but I didn't have images of those on hand. And it took me about 35 minutes to get the Puka image perfect. So it is what it is. All right, baby. Let's go. Tyler in the building. John in the building. Reflect in the building. Megan in the building. Britt in the building. Let's go, baby. Captain Oreo in the building. Hey, go Mariners. Sorry, Sarah. Mariners had to be able to get it done, and we did. We're still in it, baby. And I know, early on in the first, 2 quarters, it was like almost cover your eyes, I think, for both teams. But you figured it out, and sometimes the game is going to be sloppy. But again, you definitely get to realize what your weakness is, and it's very clear. It's offensive line for the Hawks, offensive line for the Ducks, but hopefully those will get better as the year goes on. How are you? Yeah, you're out of everybody playing in week 1, it might have been the biggest surprise out of any team there. And on top of that, you didn't even have Drake May. Jacoby Brissett obviously was named the starter. Drake May still has a little bit of work to do to get kind of comfortable. We may see Drake May at some point this season, but at least at this point, Jacoby Brissett is giving you enough to get that dub. And remember, you were going into the year thinking you guys were only going to win, a 3-4 games. And I think a lot of fans were thinking the same exact thing, including myself. I thought, maybe 3 to 7 games, 3 on the low end, maybe 7 on the high end, if everything really went well for you guys this year. But to start off 1-0 on the road, not even at Gillette, very impressed. Nice. Heck yeah. Alan in the building. What's good? Your Cowboys look good on the road, and Dak got paid. And obviously, he didn't really necessarily have a breakout performance. A lot of the other players on that particular roster ended up picking up the slack. But they, obviously like Aubrey, the kicker, thank you so much, fantasy. Obviously anytime you can end up getting 15 to 22 points in fantasy as your kicker. And obviously at this point, when I started off the initial first game and I had a -2, now I'm projected to score the most points in the week. So it shows you, even if you start off slow with a -2 on your defense, that still doesn't mean that the other 8 spots can pick up the slack. And then you might, at the end of the day, scoring more points than anybody in the league. And I know me and Reflect are going to be battling for first place for points, somewhere between 140 and 155, but pretty good for, considering -2 start. A lot of my guys balled out, and I'm really hoping for big numbers here for Cooper Kupp, Sam Laporta, and Christian McCaffrey on Monday night. And I know Reflect is going to be watching very closely with Kyron Williams as well. So we're definitely going to keep our eyes on the Rams and the Lions. And I know Megan's got Amon-Ra St. Brown. So all of us are very invested in this game here tonight. Sarah in the building. What's good? Sucks that you ended up losing. But again, I was very impressed. And there's a reason why I took AR for that exact reason. Throwing 2 touchdowns, long and deep. And he even slipped on the first one. Incredible. And then being able to run one in. I don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy, throughout the whole year. But if he plays like that, for a majority of the season, he might end up being the best quarterback in fantasy besides maybe Josh Allen or maybe like a Jalen Hurts, depending on, the offensive line with the Eagles and whatnot. But Josh Allen, AR, we ended up getting a lot of points here in week 1, and I'm hopefully that'll continue that trend. Thank you, man. It felt good. Jalen McMillan from the Huskies scored. Rashad had a good game. Mike Evans had 2 touchdowns. Baker was baking. Defense played well. The only thing I was a little disappointed as with Luke McCaffrey, on the Washington Commandos, I actually thought Jaden Daniels was going to spread the ball around. And it's not like my defense is top 5. We normally have like a top 20 defense. Every once in a while, we'll play like a top 10, but we're like normally 15 to 20 unless we end up having a bad opponent like the Panthers. And I was just really shocked that Jaden Daniels was kind of playing me ball, where he was just, hike the ball. He sensed just a little pressure, and then he was just keeping it every single time. And a lot of the wide receivers and tight ends and running backs really suffered in fantasy because he was just kind of doing everything by himself. And I don't really know, if McCaffrey is going to end up being the player that I thought he was going to be. Obviously, he scored around his projection, around 4 or 5. But I honestly feel if Daniels just would have been patient, a lot of the receivers, including McCaffrey and Scary Terry and the rest, would have been able to get 8, 10, 12, 13 points. But again, if Daniels is just going to run the ball the whole time, Luke McCaffrey has no value. So I'll hang on to him for a couple more weeks, and I know Reflect will do the same. But if I don't see targets going his way, there's no point of keeping someone that's an athlete that's underutilized. I have to be able to use that spot for some other position that I need. So a little disappointed on that end, but other than that, at least my other LM, Lad McConkey, he ended up getting in the end zone. So I think everyone ended up had a pretty solid performance top to bottom. And I know a lot of you guys were looking at your fantasy lineup, starters and bench. And again, it's a long, long year. If you ended up starting off with an L, there's still plenty of time to be able to get that W in week number 2. Let's go, baby. Yeah, the goal line punch out was incredible. Agreed. Yeah, but you already know that you're not going to lose every game from here on out. Now, instead of winning maybe 2 to 4 games, now it's probably 5 to 7, just based off momentum of winning game number 1. So Michael Penix Jr. incoming, and I'm sorry to say with all the Falcon fans, you got Justin Simmons, you got Matthew Judon, you have Kirk Cousins, but it didn't look like it. If we watch the game, the Falcons look bad, especially if you couldn't even beat the Steelers and all they did is kick field goals to beat you, regardless if it was going to be Russell Wilson or if it was going to end up being Justin Fields. So all that talk about the Falcons winning the NFC South and going to the Super Bowl or NFC Championship game, I think a lot of those people are going to recognize that the team isn't that good, at least in week 1. We'll see if it changes, but Michael Penix Jr. incoming based on what I saw. Yeah, Panthers look like they're going to be the worst team in football again by a landslide. They look terrible. David in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. Sun God for Megan. Sam Laporta for O Doggy Dog and Cooper Kupp. And Kyron Williams for Reflect. We all need some fantasy points. And hopefully we can get a big, big high-scoring affair. 34, 31. Give me something like that. And then we're going to be really excited at the end of the night. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. And shout out to all of y'all that hung out with me. And again, I didn't know if I was going to have a voice here today. We ended up having almost 10,000 people, 10,000 views almost last night with the Oregon Ducks going against the Boise State Broncos. We gained 20, 30 subs, and we're getting closer and closer to 20,500. So that was definitely the biggest number in the stream in 2024. We had over 200 people at a point in the room at a time. And it felt good to be able to have an audience like that. And even though some of them were haters and trolls, we did gain some good followers, subs, as well as maybe some new members of the NWSF family. All right, here we go. First down and 10. Shotgun set for Matthew Stafford. Man in motion. Stafford looking for a target. Checked out. Boom! Kyron Williams. Wow. Explosion. What a big hit on Kyron right out of the gates. Okay, no worries. If you got to get some sleep, I totally understand. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. What a tackle. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Second down and 11. Stafford, floater. Got a man. Incomplete. And I would assume that the Lions defense will be better than last year, but I just don't know how good they're going to be. We're going to have to watch them in the first 6 weeks, first 8 weeks, and then we'll have an idea, if they're 15th to 25th, what kind of like last year, or if they're going to be able to creep up somewhere between 12 and maybe 18. Like if they can go up a few spots and be a little bit more consistent on that side of the ball. 3rd down and 11. Oh, I bet, Brett. You just got to represent no matter what happens. Good, bad, and ugly. Screen pass, Cooper Kupp. That's what I want, but I want to get positive yards, Cooper. Great defense by the Lions, feeding off the crowd. Let's go. Alex Anzalone coming up big. Rams with the punt. All right, we need 2 more likes to be able to get to double digits to get to 10, and then hopefully we'll get a few more people to come through as the game goes along. Oh, we just hit 10. Perfect. 10 more to get to 20 in the first hour, and then 30 to 50 overall, and then we'll be shooting for 100 in the donos on every stream. Oh, good return. There you go, and then he got blasted. Thought he was going to be able to go through the crease. A lot of big plays in fantasy and in the game, this particular Sunday. Lots of excitement, lots of expectations, and we got a good one with the Jets and the Niners on Monday night as well. Yeah, my boy Marcos, that's a big Oregon State Beaver and Seahawk fan. He actually went to the game, Megan. He actually hit me up early in the morning and was traveling there. So I know that he got super excited. He doesn't usually get to go to games that often, once every couple of years. So I'm super excited that he got to go up there and obviously see the team win. Hand off to David Montgomery, another player for Reflect on the bench. Gain of a couple on the ground. Let's go, Sam. I need some points, baby. Let's go. Should be a great matchup with these wide receivers. Shotgun set. Goff. Amon-Ra, the sun god. Oh, he got tripped up. And I feel like Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield are very similar. They always get, kind of this particular bias. They're not that good, this and that. But if you actually watch Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff, they're underdogs, right? They have a lot of swagger, a lot of aura and vibe. And yeah, they're not going to be Patrick Mahomes. No one is, but for a second-tier quarterback, both of them are pretty good. And I'll tell you what, if Jared Goff was available to come to the Bucs, I would definitely take him as my quarterback. I like what he's been able to bring, not only to the Rams, but also to the Detroit Lions. He's the perfect quarterback for Dan Campbell and these receivers. 5 wide, shotgun set. Goff, pressure up the middle. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is. A Los Angeles Rams sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Young and company. Wow, the defenses came to play today on both sides. We thought it was just going to be offense, 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 and now we're getting defense, defense, defense. Okay. Fox. Big punt. Flag on the play. And even though we don't have like 2 explosive touchdowns right out of the gates, like in that Boise State Oregon game, where it would have been like 7-7, Amon-Ra, Puka Nacua, oh my God. It's kind of like, even though the score is 0-0 and the defenses are, playing well, I mean, that's not what anyone expected. So anytime you can end up getting defenses that are normally, suspect, right? And they end up, showing the energy and the aura and the vibe early. I don't know if they'll be able to keep it up for the whole game, but hopefully for both of these franchises that you lost Aaron Donald, hopefully the Rams defense will still be able to stay afloat to some degree. And with the Lions, we're going to be able to find out this year if their defense is any better than what it was last year, which I feel it will be. But still, with that being said, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be a top 5 defense. I don't think they're going to be a top 10, but I do think there is a chance to be a top 15 or top 20 defense. And I think last year, they were ranked like 22nd. So if they can get to like 12 to 18, like somewhere in there, that might be good enough for the Lions to, win the Super Bowl or even get to the NFC Championship game, especially if you can improve 5 to 10 spots. And adding some key pieces, from the draft and free agency will definitely help them as long as they can stay healthy. And that's been kind of an issue as well. Man, AR got me jumping out of my seat, and I like the new format on the ESPN. When they end up scoring, you can end up getting a animation graphic of your player, and then you can send like a taunt or a message to the player that you're playing. Very cool. Like if you guys were on the fantasy app earlier today when you ended up seeing a player scoring, they've added a lot of extra features to the ESPN. Also, if you guys notice, if you look at the projected numbers, everything is bigger and more colorful. If they're going to end up being 25%, 20%, and they end up having like brighter colors and a bigger image. So I really like that ESPN has taken the advice of the people that play to make things a little bit bigger and brighter. And I had no idea that they were going to add player graphics to the scores, and then you can end up sending it as a taunt. I think that's pretty cool. You never know what you're going to be able to get in these fantasy leagues in the program until you actually start, playing the games and notice that they've added those new features. And if you guys haven't noticed that, I would definitely pay attention to the app while you're watching the game. It's very cool. Yeah, AR had 2 amazing deep throws, and obviously had a nice bully run there. And I don't regret taking him one bit, and that's exactly why I took him, at the position that I did. And I'm hoping that he can play like that for you, Sarah, and get you some dubs. Just was a hard matchup with the Texans, in week number 1. But I think if you were playing almost anybody other than them, you guys would have won. It just was a tough matchup. Defense needs to be a little bit better. Not a lot better, just a little bit better. And that would have been the difference. Shotgun set. Stafford. Oh, almost intercepted my boy, Cooper Kupp. I like that. Nice catch by Cooper Kupp at the LA 26 for 11 yards. Let's go, baby. DX in the building. What's good? 2nd down and 5. Shotgun set. There we go. There's my boy. Cooper Kupp, baby. 1st down, Rams. Move the chains. Nice job, Cooper. Yeah, I was kind of shocked that, I knew he had that arm strength, but to be able to slip and to be able to throw it 60 yards, in stride perfectly shows you that AR's got that talent. And I'm so excited about what he'll be able to bring for me in fantasy this year. Man in motion, 1st down and 10. Pickup of 8. 2nd down and 2 on the LA 44. We have never had an offensive player make the Hall of Fame for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers when they've been on the team for 4 years or more. Mike Evans is going to be the first offensive player. And again, 10 seasons with 1,000 yards. He's going to get it this year, and he's going to pass Randy Moss. So right now it's Jerry Rice with 14, Randy Moss with 10, Mike Evans with 10. And when Mike Evans ends up getting 1,000 this year, it'll be 11. First ballot Hall of Famer, 2 tutties today. And there's a reason why I went back-to-back in the draft after I ended up getting Christian McCaffrey. I took Mike Evans and Rachaad White, not just because I'm a Bucs fan, but I know that both of them were going to play well. Kyron Williams with the short game. 1st down, Rams. Again, it also helps when you're familiar with players, but I already know that Rachaad White would get plenty of targets even with Bucky Irving, and Mike Evans had something to prove. And I'm really happy with the results here in week 1. Yeah. Agreed. First down and 10. And Cooper Kupp is my guy. Don't be upset because the Ducks barely won against Boise State and you had a rough one with Denver. All right. Things will get better. And you already knew going into the game that Bo Nix, it's brand new. You know, you don't really have all the pieces there yet. It's going to take time for the Broncos to get good. Right. You know, and again, hopefully the offensive line will get better, you know, with Oregon, but we ended up getting the dub and then we end up playing Oregon State, obviously 12:30 Pacific next week. And hopefully we can get the job done in Corvallis. You know, sometimes, you know, it takes a little time to be able to get what you want. Not everyone can get what they want right away. Sports is not fair. Life is not fair, you know. But on the bright side, you guys at least made the game a lot closer than people thought it was going to be. I don't think the Hawks fans thought it was going to be that close. And so for you to only end up losing by, 6 points, I think that was, a lot closer than people originally thought. There we go, Cup. You can be honest. You're doing shitty right now. The Broncos lost. You're mad. You're pissed off. The Ducks offensive line stinks. Even though we're 2-0, you're not happy. Okay, it's okay to be honest. You don't need to beat around the bush and lie about things. I already know how you are. You know, you're not happy. You know, but again, you just got to be able to accept for what things are and know that hopefully things will get better. Little floater, pass, incomplete. And out of the 8 years, 9 years that we've done fantasy, I've never had anyone leave a player that was deactivated week 1. Come on, Matt. Leaving T. Higgins in there, regardless if you win week 1 or not. You could say that you were watching the Bronco and Hawk game, but there's no reason to be able to not even try week 1 in fantasy. We want to make sure we have people that are actually trying in the league. And I've never had anyone, I've had people give up towards the end of the year and then maybe leave people in that, that were either injured or deactivated, but not week 1. Come on, Matt. I've never had anybody do that before. No excuses for that, man. Week number 1 in fantasy, T. Higgins, not even playing in the starting lineup. Come on, Matt Payton. First down and 10. See what we get here out of Matthew Stafford. STL in the building. What's good? I can't cut you slack because it's fucking the first week, dude. It's not like you got eliminated and you're like 0-10 and, and it's like, week 11 and you quit. And then, you know what I mean? It's like the number one priority should at least to make sure that you got people that are actually being able to play. It's one thing to, have someone that's maybe questionable, or doubtful, but not someone that has an O next to their name for out. Come on, man. How do you expect to compete in the league if you're not even taking week 1 serious? There's no way in hell you're making the playoffs based on that kind of mentality, whether you want to or you don't want to, but at least pretend that you care. Shotgun set. Man in motion. Come on. Stafford. Oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? A Detroit Lions sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. The thing is that T. Higgins had an O next to his name for multiple days. It's not like he had it just this morning. So you've had multiple days to be able to take him out. And again, you have to be able to follow the league and your team to be able to go through that. It's not like it just automatically just popped up. It was there for days. That's why you got to be able to keep up on the league and the people that are on your roster. Third down and 18. Stafford, flag on the play. And the only reason that I'm bringing it up, Matt, is that I could have had someone else in the league that really, really wanted to be in it, that really would have cared and tried. We appreciate everything that you do, with all the mod duties. But again, there was a lot of people that wanted to be in the league this year that I had to tell no, and I don't want to have someone quit week 1 or even before the league started. That's the issue. We want to make sure that we have people that are competing, that are actually enjoying it and that are trying. And there was at least 5 to 10 people that I had to tell no, and they weren't really too happy about that. So that's the reason why, bro. 3rd down and 23. Anna from Mexico in the building. What's good? Handoff up the middle. Short gain there by Kyron Williams. DX in the building. What's good? Yeah, and I hate to say it, but I kind of told you so, man. No Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase not happy with the contract. No T. Higgins. That Bengal team does not look the same as what we normally see, and they should have won that game at home if everything was right. But, New England ended up stealing that one on the road, and I hope things get better for Cincinnati. But, sometimes the writing is on the wall, and you just have to recognize the signs. 41-yard field goal attempt. Kick is up. And it's good. 3-0 Ramley. Nice kick there by the Rams. STL in the building. What's good? Congratulations, on the big win, right? But the Panthers are fucking terrible. Carr was making plays early and often, and I'm not saying that the Saints are overrated or whatever. And it was awesome to be able to see you guys almost score 50. But again, the Panthers look like a high school team compared to everyone else that's in the NFL. And I don't even know if they're going to be able to win any games this year based on what I saw week 1. And obviously that's going to make you feel great, winning week 1. And I do think you guys are going to win a good chunk of games with the Bucs. And I feel that both of our teams are going to compete for the NFC South crown. I think that all the hype for all the Falcons fans is going to die off now. And it's just going to be a 2-team race between the Saints and the Bucs. But anytime you can end up scoring 40, 45, 50, 50 plus, it's going to make you feel good. It was a very, very dominant performance, not only offensively, but defensively for the Saints fans as well. They loved it. And I know a lot of Saints fans hate Carr. They hate him. They don't like him. So for him to be able to ball out week 1, Rashid Shaheed, big long touchdown right out of the gates. I know that was a kind of a big sigh of relief for, they might not like Carr, but at least that you guys are winning with him right now. So at least you got that going for you. But I'll be shocked. I'm going to be honest, though. I didn't think that the Bengals would lose week 1. I definitely thought that, there would be struggles this year, with the Jamar Chase contract stuff. And, no T. Higgins was injured, not playing. Tyler Boyd is no longer on the team. Mixon is gone. And again, if the offensive line is shaky, Burrow, I don't even know what to say. Joe Burrow today did not look like the Joe Burrow that I'm used to watch. I used to watch, a few years back or even like last season. It was a little weird to be able to see that product on the field there. And you guys were at home. It's not like you guys were on the road in New England. So, hopefully you guys will be able to, firm up some of the mistakes. But also I think it's kind of like the Oregon Ducks with the Bengals. It's a depth issue. Like you lost a lot of pieces, and then the pieces that you lost are not replaceable. And we're starting to see that already in week 1, unfortunately. Mixon is a beast, and if you saw what he did on the Texans, and there's a reason why Reflect has Mixon as well as Nico Collins, is because those guys are balling out for the Texans. Same thing with Stephon Diggs. 3-0 Rams, 4:50 left here in the first quarter. Appreciate it. I was thinking about wearing the hard hat, but I'll have to wear that once the Bucs are actually playing in a game that I do a stream for. The thing is, you have to realize, what are you just going to defend every single player that plays bad? You know, this isn't the friendship league, all right? This is the NFL or college football. We point out when players play good. We point out when players play bad. So when someone plays bad, we're just supposed to say, oh, they're not bad. Oh, Daniel Jones and Will Levis is good. They're elite. They're going to be Hall of Fame. They're Pro Bowl. It was just one bad game. They're going to turn it around. Come on, bro. If a player is not good, they're not good. Period. You know, sometimes people have a bad game, but again, it's not about putting down. It's just pointing out the facts when players are good and when players aren't. Come on, Matt Payton. 2nd down and 6. Jahmyr Gibbs bouncing it to the outside. Love his speed. Wish I would have had him in fantasy. Third down and 1. Man in motion. Handoff. Ooh. Big hit, but David Montgomery rumbling and bumbling, adjusting his body weight, getting that first down. Move the chains. Tackle to the Detroit 41 for 2 yards there. First down and 10 on the Detroit 41. Play action fake. Goff. Screen pass. Flag down. Ooh, illegal hands to the face. Automatic first down. They had to call that penalty. Get the ball to Sam Laporta, baby. $24 subs away from 20,500. 9,400 plus yesterday. That was pretty sweet. Hopefully when we do more Duck games throughout the year, that especially when there's going to be a lot of haters and trolls hoping that the Ducks lose, that'll increase the viewership. Not everyone that's watching is a Duck fan. Of course, there's going to be a lot of people hoping that we lose, or Big Ten fans that are not happy with the addition of USC, Oregon, Washington, and UCLA. But I'm here for, all the comments, good, bad, and ugly. And we know that we can always boot out the bad ones. But again, hopefully we can end up, growing the stream and growing the overall channel, not just with the Seattle Mariners, but also with the Oregon Ducks this year as well. That was a pleasant surprise. And I was the only one that did the game yesterday. So obviously that was the reason why there was such a big increase. We might have been able to get like 1,000, but again, if no one else is doing it, and if people want to see the Ducks lose, right? And they know that we're shaky, they want to be able to rub it in. And we got a big jump, obviously, in viewership. And we ended up getting some new followers on Instagram, Twitter/X, and we ended up getting quite a few subs too, which was a pleasant surprise. It's probably the most subs that we got in one night in a while, like 20 to 30. So shout out to all the newbies that came through last night to join the NWSF. Told you about USC. But again, you got to play some better competition. But you already played the good competition week 1. Now, if you end up playing, lower competition, you should be able to blow teams out like that. That's how good you guys are. And then you guys got Michigan next week. Is that correct? You got USC and Michigan next week. I would assume that you'll beat them. They're not as good as they were last year. They're beatable. And in all honesty, you might end up blowing them out. I could definitely see USC winning by 20 points or more. I mean, it's not like you're playing Michigan, the history of Michigan Wolverines of 100 years. You're playing the 2024 Michigan Wolverines, which isn't very good. I mean, they're decent. They're going to be one of the, upper, teams in the Big Ten, but they're not on the Ohio State USC level. Limited game there. Give the ball to Sam Laporta, damn it. I need some fantasy. Oh, Michigan in 2 weeks. Who do you guys play next week? End of the first quarter, 3-0 Ramley. Yeah, everyone will have concerns. But again, for someone, like me and Reflect and certain people in the room, like Sarah that end up watching, 3-4 games of college football every Saturday, we're not going to pump up, your ego and just tell you what you want to hear. We don't do that here. If a team is good, we're going to let you know they're good. If a team is bad, then they're going to tell them that they're bad. If the player is good, we're going to say they're good. If a player is bad, we're not going to sugarcoat it. And, me being a Duck fan has nothing to do with it. I'm a fan of greatness. And, this is one of the better USC teams that we've seen in quite a few years. Because again, the defense hasn't really been good for you guys, when the last few years when you guys were in the Pac-12 and, a switch was flipped, with different, coaching, different scheme, better players, and it already shows, how much better that you guys are than the rest of the Big Ten besides maybe Ohio State. So I'm excited to be able to see where things go. He definitely is. But you and everyone else as a college football fan already knew that when he threw 6 touchdown passes in the bowl game. That's when you were like, oh my God, you're like Caleb, you're like, okay, cool, you're going. But then when, if you had a guy that threw like 2 touchdown passes in the bowl game, you're optimistic. You're like, okay, he threw 2. He looks good, but we'll wait and see next year. But when you throw 6, you already know you're not going to really be missing that much. Of course, you're going to miss Caleb Williams, but again, you're getting someone that is filling in the role very, very nicely. Like literally probably the best person that you could have asked for to step in after Caleb, and you got it. So I like Moss. He is a gamer. And there's going to be a few games where he only has 1 touchdown pass, 2 touchdown passes, and that's completely fine. You got so many athletes on the Trojans, you're going to be good to go. And then hopefully the Ducks will be able to catch up to your guys' level in a year or two. 3-0 Rams. All right, come on, baby. Where's Sam Laporta? 3rd down and 2. Pass incomplete. That's not Sam Laporta. That's the sun god, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford not really able to get into a rhythm so far, which is kind of shocking, right? We thought this was going to be an offensive juggernaut kind of game where maybe a 34-31 kind of game. And the way that they've been playing both of these teams offensively, it might end up being a 16-13 kind of game. And until things pick up, we think that they're going to pick up. But first quarter, very low scoring. 4th down and 2. Go to Sam Laporta. First down, Lions. I mean, if you're comparing like what Caleb did compared to like Reggie Bush, Reggie Bush accomplished a lot more, throughout, the Caleb's career. But, they already know the potential. There we go, Sam, of what Caleb can do. And believe it or not, Caleb Williams is the first number 1 pick to be able to win their very first game since 2002, right? With David Carr when he was on the Texans. So, even though it was the defense and the special teams that won the game, Caleb did make some plays. He did make some mistakes, but he did make some plays for the Bears. And I know Chicago is very, very happy that they moved on from Justin Fields. But Justin Fields got the dub for Pittsburgh over us. Pittsburgh is fully happy with their quarterbacks, but I know Chicago is with Caleb Williams. Play action fake. Goff. Check down. Stiff arm. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Ooh, good tackle. Nice chip block there by Amon-Ra. He's a stud. Look at that form tackle there by the Rams. That's one of the best tackles I've seen all weekend. Look at him right here. Wrap him up, boom, and bringing him back. Great form tackle there by the Rams. Sean McVay and company, he got that team coached up. Sam Laporta, damn it. Handoff. David Montgomery, and a nice gang tackle by the Rams. Love me some Amon-Ra, Sun God. They are. Shotgun set. 3rd and goal. Goff. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. Sam Laporta. But obviously double covered there. Man, if that throw was just a little bit lower, Sam might have been able to come down with it. Field goal is up and good. We're knotted up at 3. All right, Ramley, it's your turn.
You're thinking, are these guys legit? What's that? Tony for white tacos. So you start with Uncle Peter.
All right, what am I looking at in fantasy here? Where are we looking? Cooper Kupp at 7.6, Laporta 2.4, 125.66 to 114.08. So I need 11. And I still got CMC on Monday night. Yeah, seriously. Yeah, I saw that about a week ago. I think they did a brilliant job on that commercial. I don't know if that's going to be something in his future down the road. If they're going to use him as like an analyst, in one of the programs down the road, with his type of personality. But I thought that was a perfect commercial for the perfect person, to be able to have in that spot. He did a great job. And to my knowledge, I don't think he's done any commercials prior to that. So. I'm going to take a look at the scores here real quick on the MLB side, as well as the NFL side. Just a little recapper. If I can get my shit to load here. little bit lower of a scoring matchup than we thought, but I think the offenses will open up. Not every score is going to be 30, 40, 50 points. So Diamondbacks 9, Astros 5. Let's go Diamondbacks. Beat those Astros. We're 5 games back of Houston. And then what about the wild card? 3.5 back out of the wild card. Let's go, Reflect. Let's go, Captain Oreo. We're getting closer, baby. We're getting closer. 12-17 left in the second quarter. And we're knotted up here at 3. I think they'll be better, as the season goes on. It's just that they played the Ravens with Lamar, in week number 1. But the funny thing is that even though I had the least amount of points to start off with -2, I might end up scoring the most points this week out of the whole league. So just because you have a -2 and it looks bad initially doesn't mean that I'm going to finish in last or I'm going to lose. So, you're not going to be able to hit on every position. First down and 10. 46 homers, 46 steals. Ohtani is a sports god. Man in motion. Puka Nacua. Little reverse. Jet sweep. Good tackle there by the Lions. Yes. Yes, I agree. And good luck. Hopefully you guys end up having a good draft. Second down and 3 at the LA 29. Ronnie Rivers. Shotgun set. Close to the first down marker there by Rivers. First down, Rams. It's like, why is Kyron out? Put him back in. Cooper Kupp in motion. Audible at the line. First down and 10. At the LA 33. Play action fake. Screen pass. And he dropped it. What happened to my hands? Pass incomplete to Parkinson. Come on, Parkinson. It's all good. If I end up scoring 150 and I end up being number 1 out of everyone in the league, it's not really going to matter if I have a -2 or not. If anything, it shows like how good my team is, that I can still end up shitting the bed with like a position or 2 and still score an insane amount of points. So it can end up being a bad thing, or it can end up actually being like an amazing thing. You can start slow, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish, baby. Second down and 10. And I do think the Chief defense will get better, but I am going to be looking for another, defense to add at some point this season for sure. Shotgun set, second down and 10 at the LA 33. Handoff. Rivers, bouncing it to the outside. First down, Rams. Move the chains. The thing is, with the Seahawks D, no one else would have picked them. So if you would have realized that, you don't have any regrets picking where you did, but you could have picked them like 5 spots lower than you did and got another big wide receiver or running back. But if you're happy, with them, and again, and it worked out for you, and, then, but just in reality, no one else was going to draft them. So you could have literally drafted the Seahawk D, the last pick of the draft, and then got a couple more quality players, to your team. But again, sometimes, we end up reaching, for things that we want. Sometimes we end up, picking a defense or a kicker sometimes a little bit too soon, or a running back or a wide receiver. But, you just want to make sure you're not doing it too much, because if you reach too much, then the team isn't going to be good at the end of the draft, because there's going to be pieces that were left on the board that could have maybe been on your team rather than the Seahawk D. So because everything is done by rankings, and that's why when you end up clicking on the different pieces, it'll say what they're ranked: first, second, third, fourth. Man in motion, shotgun set, Stafford, Puka Nacua using that big frame. 7-yard gain by Puka. Second down and 3. Man in motion. Little jet sweep. Reverse to Cooper Kupp. There we go, baby. Give me some points. Megan's getting us started. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks. Racks on racks. A little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. $20 holla. 80 to go. Appreciate you. Let me know what photos I can get before you end up falling asleep. If you're going to dip early, we're going to be getting into halftime in a few minutes. And once we get into a commercial break, I got you. Just let me know what you want. If you want Hawks players based off your win today, we can do that. Or just some of your regulars. If you want Glenn and Anson and Stefan, you let me know. I got you. Pump fake. Stafford. Puka. One thing that I have noticed with this Lions defense this year compared to last year, it seems like they're a lot faster on, getting to the point of the football. Last year, they were kind of running around with their chicken with their head cut off. This year, it seems like they have a little bit more focus, a little bit more speed, and they're attacking the football and the player that has the football as a unit better than last year, and that's a good sign for the Lion defense. You could say the same for the Rams as well, even though you don't have Aaron Donald anymore. Tyron, first down, Rams, move the chains. Reflect likes that. Any type of Kyron stats on the fantasy board. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks, little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. $3 holla. Let me know what you want for photos once we get into halftime or a little bit sooner, and I got you. Appreciate you, A-Guy. Raiders. Appreciate you. Love you too, my guy. I hope you guys have a successful season. Enjoy your time with your friends. It's always good to be able to, have that time. Make those memories. Oh! Pass incomplete. Almost picked off. What a good deflection there by Branch. Look at the awareness by Branch. And then as soon as he recognizes the route, jumped that route, dove for it. Look at that extension. Beautiful defense by Branch and the Lions. Okay, I got you. Second down and 10. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford avoids the sack lunch. Floater. Incomplete. Third down and 10. $23.77 to go. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. And we'll see if we get a few more people to come through after halftime. Just kind of depends on if they're watching the game or not. or if they're at a different stream. You know, lots of people doing NFL. Just depends on, what family you want to be a part of, on a different stream. So shotgun set, 3rd down and 10, Stafford. Puka, nice catch as he slides to the ground but slips short of the 1st down marker. Stafford is limping. That's not good. Aiden Hutchinson, did he blast him? Oh, what a spin move by Hutch. Oh, and a little bit of a late hit from Aiden. That wasn't flagged. That should have been probably flagged there. That was a easy flag right there on Hutch on Stafford. Let's see if Stafford can get a little bit of payback after that late hit by Hutchinson. Puka Nacua injured on the sideline. That's not good. 4th down and 4. Shotgun set. Stafford. Oh, Cooper Kupp. Come on. I need fantasy points, baby. Good defense there by the Lions. Big play. Come on, Cooper. You can make that catch. All right, let's get some photos up for the goats in the room. Get the bibs ready for Megan and for Britt. The bibbage is real. He's a handsome fella. And I feel that he's going to get bigger and bigger in pop culture with more of the movies that come out.
Savings continue with Bymark's latest savings book. Pick up a copy.
And then reflect anything that you want to be able to see, like Seahawk wise, or anything that you're thinking. I know you don't really, it's not as much of a priority for you, but if there is anything, you can always let me know. I mean, unless we get to like the end of the stream where you put up a little Better Call Saul or something of that nature. All right, I got to make room now. Hope you enjoyed those.
That's why I am committed to building and maintaining the trust.
See if I can squeeze in a few more here. See how fast my my fingers and the clicks can go here. Appreciate you very much. 23:77 to go. Lots of handsome fellas. All right, we're 3-3 knotted up. A little bit lower of a scoring matchup. I don't think anyone anticipated the defense as being better than the offense, but we got a breakout play. Oh my, it's Jameson Williams. Oh my, 1st down Lions. And you knew the big play was going to come at some point or another. But I don't think anybody anticipated a 3-3 score where the defenses have looked like the strong suit and the offenses have looked a little out of whack or out of character. All right, reflect, I got you. Going long, going deep. Pass incomplete. Still 9-5 Diamondbacks. Yeah, keep me posted with that, Sarah, and reflect with that Diamondback and Astros score. That's very important to us Mariner fans. Goff, little check down, little screen. Gibbs. Woo! What a play by Jahmyr Gibbs. He's exciting, isn't he? And I love the combination of Gibbs and Montgomery. Thunder and lightning. You know, you get one guy that's kind of like the beefier back, you know, a guy that can get you yards on 3rd down and 1 with like Montgomery. And then obviously with Gibbs, I mean, he can really do it all. Screen pass, reverse, jet sweep. You know, if you just give him the ball and space, he moves so well with his agility and being able to contort his body in different directions. And he can stop and start at on a dime, and you don't really see too many players that have that explosiveness. Nice reverse. Wow, 1st down, Lions. We're about to get a touchdown here, fellas, ladies and gents. Uh-oh, and now he's down. Uh-oh, J-Mo is hurt. Uh-oh. Damn, what's up with the injuries here today? Puka went out. Now J-Mo having a couple big plays. Now he's hurt. And we already know J-Mo had a kind of an issue of being hurt before. Ooh. Kind of got hit on that leg, and then he landed funny on that next step on that right leg on that plant. I hope he's okay. We'll get the Better Call Saul at the end, but if we got time, we'll keep busy.
Didn't get that email.
Look at Melbourne. Keeps you safe from
Viruses.
Appreciate you. Hi, Paisley. How are you? Did you eat yet? Did you get a chance to eat yet, Paisley? Damn, really? Yeah, I mean, with a bad defense last year, they could have. I don't think that they would have won the Super Bowl, but they could have gotten there against the Chiefs, and it would have been fun to be able to see them out there. But I think the Chiefs would have won it last year, but it would have been really exciting to see the Chiefs and the Lions play each other, though, for sure. .453 left here in the second quarter. 3-3 Lions and Rams. Give me a Sam Laporta touchdown, baby. Audible at the line. Shotgun set. Gibbs. Gosh, look how shifty he is. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Amazing player. Maybe get a little bit closer and we can get a Laporta touchdown. Man in motion, halfback toss. Inside run, gain for a couple there. Looks like J-Mo is back in the game. He's okay now. Yeah, I think the only thing that you could probably say that is a benefit of Collinsworth is that he created PFF, with him and his team. So other than that, that might be the only positive thing if you don't like him as a broadcaster. He definitely isn't a favorite of many. 3rd down and 1. Man in motion. Goff. Gibbs. Bouncing it to the outside. 1st down, Lions. Move the chains. Come on, baby. Let's get some points. Hard to get fantasy points for your favorite players on the Rams and Lions if we're at a 3-3 score, unless you have the kicker. That's why the NFL is so unpredictable. You don't really know what you're going to get from game in to game out. Man in motion. Give it to Laporta. Brock Wright is there. Good tackle there by the Rams. And now we're at the 2-minute warning. 2nd and goal at the Rams 1. $24 subs to be able to get to 20,500. We're making some moves. And then hopefully we can get at least 20 to 25 likes before the stream ends. We're at 11 now. We need 9 more to get to at least 20. But with limited people, it is what it is. We'll see if we get a little bit more viewership after halftime. And if not, we got to try to get to at least 20 if we can, depending on who we have in the room. So 10-5 Diamondbacks. I like. Now we're at 12. 8 more to go to get to 20. Any team can win on any given Sunday, even the Patriots. I know it probably felt good putting that jersey on. So this will normally be, David Montgomery right up the gut, Jahmyr Gibbs, unless, the sports gods want to be really, really kind to me with like a little jump ball to Laporta for a touchdown, but I might have to wait for the second half to get some opportunities for Sam. But a lot of the tight ends have been underwhelming, at least in week 1 so far. Laporta only giving me 2.4, and that ain't going to cut it. Very true. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow, too, with the Jets and the Niners, to see how Aaron Rodgers looks. I don't think a lot of people, at least going into the season, really have a strong belief. We know the Jets defense is going to be good, and we obviously Breece Hall, was hyped up as being, one of the top options at running back and whatnot. And we know Garrett Wilson's a great receiver. But I want to be able to see like the Jets O-line. I want to see how Aaron goes through his progressions being, at the age that he's at. And then obviously with the Niners, we want to see if there's any type of flaws in their team, even though it seems like they have most of the bases already covered with depth, but we will find out. And I know Christian McCaffrey is dealing a little bit with an injury, but it sounds like he's going to play. A little bit of a hammy, a little bit of a quad. Can't have him go down. I need some points. Hey. Hey, I won today. All right. I beat the Commandos. All right, here we go. 2nd and goal. Man in motion. Hand off up the middle. Ooh. Oh, did he fumble? Was Gibbs down, and did he lose the football? Play under review. Wow. I need to see a replay. Here we go. Ooh, big hit. The ball's starting to come loose a little bit. And he reaches. That's a touchdown. And then he drops it after. That's a tutty. I mean, after he's reaching, he has the ball, and then he kind of lets go of it. Give him the tutty.
Look at that. Take multiple looks inside of 2 minutes. Stop for review by the replay booth.
Looks like a tutty to me. I'm gonna go check up on Paisley real quick. Her appetite hasn't been as much as normal. And, obviously she's been eating like strawberries and blueberries, but as far as like her dog food, she wasn't really eating too much of her dog food today. So let me go check up on her real quick. I'll be right back.
I catch football. I catch I catch big old fish.
Guys, it's free delivery. I mean, it's actually free, so there's no catch.
Yeah, it can be delivered from Little Caesars with free delivery for a limited time.
Pizza.
Walmart Plus. It's Walmart Plus free delivery, which frees up your whole afternoon. Thank you, free delivery. It's Walmart Plus gas discounts, so you can go to the state away. Plus, an included Walmart Plus subscription to dramas, plus comedies, plus rom-com dramedies. That's showbiz, baby. Basically, it's Walmart, but more ways to save time and Walmart Plus. It's Walmart Plus.
All right, I'm back. She's on the couch. Play was reviewed. It is reversed. And that is a touchdown. 10-3 Lions. All right, DX, take it easy, brother. Have a good rest of your day. That was an easy call as far as the replay. Extra point is up, and it's good. 10-3 Lions. Finally, we get a offensive touchdown. Better late than ever. Puka in the medical tent. That's not good. Uh-oh, questionable. even though that's going to give me more opportunities for Cooper Kupp, but I don't want guys to be hurt. I want to see Puka make big plays, regardless on who I have in fantasy. And, you want to make sure that everyone stays as healthy as possible. But hopefully they get those ankles wrapped up and retaped up, and they'll be all right. Back into the end zone. Touchback to the LA 30. Yeah, Lions corners have played well. Defense improved. Collinsworth got fucking 4 screens up. First down and 10, handoff. Kyron Williams. Right up the middle to the LA 34 for 4 yards. Second down and 6. Shotgun set for Stafford. See if the Lions bring a blitz or not. Man in motion. Offsides. Free play. All right, second down and 1. 10-3 Lions. Rams need to get closer here before halftime. Hopefully they can get into field goal range, or you never know, they might have an unexpected touchdown here in the last minute. Less than a minute to go here before halftime. Shotgun set. Stafford. Pass to Cooper Kupp, incomplete. Based off your dogs, Sarah and Britt, have you guys had your dog not eat food for like a day? Like, I've been, by Paisley's side, since 6 weeks, and she always eats. But like, today is the first day where she hasn't touched her dog food. Like, she's had, some blueberries and some strawberries and whatnot. But normally by this time of day, she's already eaten twice, and she hasn't eaten at all on that end. So I know if that dog doesn't eat for a couple days, you got to take him to the vet to see what's going on and whatnot. I'm not sure if she nibbled on some grass that had some fertilizer or something on there and it makes her sick or something, but she's not throwing up or going to the bathroom or anything, but she's been sleeping a lot today. Roughing the passer. Aiden Hutchinson, you already got away with one dirty play with a late hit, and you got caught this time around. Come on, Hutch. But at least I know that, it's not like she can't eat anything. She, I made sure to give her some fruit, so. But a little weird for her not to eat. Big penalty there by Hutchinson. First down and 10. 43 seconds left before halftime. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford. Parkinson. First down. Rams. Move the chains. Yeah, we went on 2 long walks early this morning as well. And then she wasn't really drinking a lot of water either, which was, I always try to make sure that she drinks water so she doesn't get dehydrated and, and eat the proper amount of food and whatnot. So I got to keep my close eye on my baby. 37 seconds left here in the second quarter. Man in motion. Shotgun set. 10-3 Detroit. Stafford. Avoids a sack lunch. A little flip. Kyron is there. Nice game there by Kyron Williams. 28 seconds left. Second down and 2 at the Detroit 12. Cooper Kupp, anyone? Come on, baby. Still 10-5. And hopefully we'll get a little bit more offense as we go into the second half. Much lower scoring than anyone anticipated, especially with both of these defenses kind of still a work in progress. But maybe the Rams and the Lions defense is a little bit better this year than we expected. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford. Cooper Kupp. There we go. First and goal. Move the chains. Down to the Detroit 8. Nice game there for Cooper Kupp, getting another catch. First and goal. Shotgun set. Back of the end zone. Incomplete. Demarcus Robinson, the intended receiver. .77 to go. Second and goal. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford. Pressure coming. Floater. Intercepted. Wow. My goodness. Wow, if the Lions defense is going to play like this. Wow. That was impressive. Big interception. Lions fans can't believe it. They're like, we have a defense? Joseph with the big pick. But it all was caused by the pressure up front. And he floated it up there. And obviously the defense was cluing, looking at the eyes. Jumped it. Great hands by Joseph there. Stafford can't believe it. Well, it doesn't look like we're going to get the 34-31 offensive explosion. It's kind of leaning more towards like a 19-16 or 16-13 kind of game. But hopefully we get at least into the 20s, 24-20 or something like that. Shotgun set. Goff. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. And now it is halftime. Low scoring, but still an entertaining game. You know, I love defense, but even though that being said, I was kind of hoping for some more offensive explosion, you know, plays for fantasy purposes for all of our favorite players, but yeah, no Aaron Donald, and then you're holding the Lions to 10, and then the Lions, you know, holding the Rams to 3 with their defense, you know, needing a lot of work from last year, but they made some good improvement. Supposedly, I mean, obviously, I'm not sure if we thought it was going to be this good, but we still have a second half to see what happens. All right, Toyota halftime report. We'll be able to look at some highlights. Well, everyone get situated, get some food to eat, go to the bathroom, do what you got to do. I'm going to see if I can feed Paisley by hand if she'll eat. I got to be able to get her to eat some food, or at least attempt it. So I'm going to try to take care of her for a couple minutes, and then I'll be back, obviously, before the third quarter starts. So get situated, and I'll be back in just a few minutes here.
First time buying crypto? It's like your first visit to a taco truck. You're thinking, I think that's legit. What's in it? What's the light tacos? So you start with the bookie first. Okay, so if you like this, you can mix it up. Go off, make it spicy if you like. You ready? I'm going like that.
We're making a big change to Reese's peanut butter cups. We're adding a delicious layer of caramel. We're overthinking a few of them. Okay. Let's celebrate the cup. Yeah. With Reese's caramel big cup.
Love to watch the stretch. Save the goal by using the gift of the card to custom no cash rewards card and choose to up to 3% cash back on all purchases. What house you looking for? This is the back. Move the baby.
That's easy. It's like we're in the game.
I know. Yeah, that's fine. Install it.
Easy. Bigger, better.
So we went big with everything.
When you play the NFL's biggest season yet, the biggest hits, the biggest plays, the biggest player. Yeah, that's big. Wait for us on extra large TV stamps on Best Buy, official sponsor of the NFL.
it was the first time Bill Belichick won with Tom in the game since 2000, and it was very bad for Brock. Celebration, everything.
Sneakers were saved after the game right back, so I gotta give it to Leo. Keep the shoes fresh.
There you go.
They save the shoes, that's all that matters.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah, that is true.
Great job.
They get a win in week 1. So did the Cowboys over the Browns. Remember, Dak got paid like 4 hours before, and they really showed up in the picture.
Total domination. Dak and CD haven't skipped the additional Mike Zimmer on defense. Certainly showing up. And if they score touchdowns in the kicking game, we're going to be a hard team to beat.
They look good. Cleveland got a little concerned, right? Best defense for football last year. Wild ball last year, not good. Today, not good. And Deshaun Watson questions. So, yeah, I'll agree with you. The pressure that they got on Deshaun Watson. Out and out with a 2-pack. So hopefully that makes things a little bit better, but not a bright spot.
Yeah, we'll see if the Browns can improve. But another big story of the game is the situation surrounding Tyreek Hill. Mike Florio, what is the latest?
Well, before the game today, Maria Tyreek Hill was detained by police outside the stadium, handcuffed, thrown on the ground. Police are investigating internally. One officer has already been placed on what they call administrative duties. They reached out to Hill to cooperate with the investigation. He's considering all options, including litigation. And his teammate, Clay Campbell, he said he went over to de-escalate. He was handcuffed and studied by police for not obeying an officer's order. We'll see the Dolphins Thursday night against the Bills. We'll be keeping an eye on whether we see Josh Allen. He injured his left hand. He said he's fine. He didn't look fine. So we'll be keeping a very close watch on that.
All right, and we'll be keeping a watch on Pro Football Talk. That's also where you can find the PX Tolerance by Toyota. Wednesday, 7 a.m. Eastern on Peacock. Coming up, Caleb Williams and one of the 50 debut. First, sign up now at toyota.com/retail for a chance to win prizes if it was active since over 25 yards in the second half.
Every fan, every team, every season. Toyota, let's go places.
Taking the hardest work for it, the most rewarding. Most team members control all those team members.
All right, the Bears get the win, but there is zero touchdowns in this game.
No, it wasn't the rookie, that's for sure. Caleb Williams was out of the he looked at the rookie, right? That's the plain and simple way to say it. That is balls trying to make magic happen to in there just with that sack. It was look at the runs, didn't really have to go the direction plan. And when some of these plays happen, in college we ran away from guys, not going to happen in the NFL.
And that's the thing. That's a difference between the preseason, practices, all that stuff. The action levels, the defensive are comfortable, and everybody's a lot faster than college. Just be more aggressive next week. That would be my percent right there.
Yeah, that means that special teams defense scores 24 unanswered points and still get the win. So that's like it's right at the moment too, just honoring that line. We got Bears next week. I'm sorry, nice football. That should be a great one. We got a good one going on the spread right now. Lions 10-3 at the half. Matthew Stafford looks at the corner around.
This is it. Let's feel the pressure. Let's feel this. This broadcast is copyrighted by Hancock Productions. The private use for all against any use of this broadcast. Individuals, descriptions, or counsel for the consent and
NFL Kickoff Weekend presented by YouTube TV. Includes Monday Night Football, Week 2 week, and Thursday Night Football. Your games live on your local device with NFL Plus.
based on international selling now.
Where did you start? Yeah.
15 years ago, comes an end of story that takes hold of your heart and soul. That's the third touch.
Lord knows it's easier to make the right calls when you have to wait. But McCaffrey with a tough call.
He can't go for it's a big call question. Biggest call in your life. Would or tie or finish. Which one are you gonna do? This could make or break the whole pitching. Call the timeout, Christian. Lemon Scott. Here. Sure. Get the fans some London Sky.
And a decisive win with the Lowe's app. It's score online. Our Lowe's team has you covered.
Ready and ready. Go. Run. Get your core. What's the order?
50 cent boneless wings.
50 cent boneless wings on 2. Ready? Right. Run. 50 cent boneless wings only in Applebee's.
The next icon of vacation. Start the season for today.
This dad showed up at this exact moment and proves that this is purpose. To your stomach.
And they'll kick off the industry by TV. Watch every game every Sunday, all in one place when you bundle NFL's Sunday ticket and TV.
Tonight's first half is presented by Progressive.
Lions on top. We head to the third quarter here in Detroit. Time after tonight's buzz, powered by AWS. Just bringing Sean McVay's team to the first half that ties the team's points in his tenure.
All right, I'm back.
Low touchdown scored by career Gibbs. That's 11 touchdowns, 16 career games.
All right, 10-3 halftime with the Lions. I had to hand feed my pup, but I finally got her to eat, so I think things are hopefully getting a little bit better. First half stats, 66 rushing yards there from the Lions, 55 from the Rams. Passing yards, 111 to 58, Los Angeles. Total yards, 166 for the Rams, 124 for the Lions. And I don't think that's what we anticipated for fantasy terms, but hopefully the second half will be a little bit better for our key players than in the first. I mean, unless you ended up having the field goal kickers there. Oh, that's cool. All right, go. Here's the kickoff. Looks like I had good enough timing there to be able to feed her, and hopefully she'll be okay. A couple blueberries, a couple strawberries, a little bit of peanut butter, but not really sure what the lack of appetite with the food was, but I'm just happy that she ate. Zay in the building. What's good? Dude, he is a true leader, bro. Like, again, you know, to go and be the guy leading the charge after Tom Brady, not many guys would be able to succeed. You know, he had to take his ego at the door, you know, going from Oklahoma, you know, being first pick, going to the Browns, giving them some success, playing for the Rams and getting humbled a little bit and then getting better. And then obviously having a daughter, you know, being married and then being able to be the leader of the Bucs. You know, I didn't really know if Baker was just going to be a 1 year, 2 year experiment, and then we would try to get a guy like Michael Penix Jr. or Bo Nix. But I'm happy to say I really do enjoy Baker Mayfield on and off the field, and the players have embraced him. Because when Tom Brady was there, you know, he's like a megastar, you know, where it's like, you know, you're dealing with like a celebrity. Baker is like one of the boys, and he always is going to congratulate every single person, you know, after every touchdown, the offensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, the defense. And you don't really see a quarterback go out of their way like that too often. And, you know, I don't know how far we can really go making it to the NFC Championship game or Super Bowl might be out of the question. But I definitely think we have a very strong chance to win the NFC South for the 4th year in a row. It'll be us or the Saints. Shotgun set, 3rd down and 4. Goff. Big hit. Yeah, and that's one thing that you love to be able to see, that true leadership where you're actually genuinely liked. But you know what's really crazy to say is that the Tampa Bay players this year are closer than they have been in the last few years prior to Baker and even prior to Brady. Is that a lot of the players and the players' wives, they actually hang out together outside of football. So when you can have, a group of guys and, even with the wives or the girlfriends, and you're actually making an effort to hang out with each other outside of football, then you become closer and it ends up being a family like we are here. We may not be blood, but we are the fanatic family here as that goes and dribbles into the end zone. But that's something that you don't really see a lot of NFL players do with other guys, whether it's the wide receiver room or the tight end room or the defense, but they definitely go out of their way, and it's not something that's really forced. It's something that they wanted to do. And based on watching game number 1 against the Commandos, it really shows how together we really are. Elliot in the building, what's good? That Saints win was big, but let's be honest, Elliot, the Panthers are fucking ass, dude. That's like the worst team in football. They look like a team that's like JV in high school, right? And I'm glad that Carr was able to go to Rashid Shaheed and the defense played well, because let's be honest, most Saints fans hate Carr. So for Carr to be able to have a good game, throw a couple touchdown passes, AK-41 doing what he does best, Alvin Kamara, right? AK-41, the alien, as well as all the pieces on the defense as well. It was a big, big win. I don't think anyone anticipated any team getting 40 or 50 points, let alone the Saints. But you guys look great. And again, I don't want to take anything away from your big blowout win. But again, the Panthers, it's like literally the worst team in football. So I'm glad. But also too, you could have played the Panthers and only won, 20-10. And a win is a win, but you guys beat the shit out of them. So you definitely exposed them. And again, a big, big win like that maybe will help some of the fan base accept Carr a little bit more. You guys tell me if you guys are still on the Carr, bandwagon or not. I still think a lot of the fans are, looking at Spencer Rattler or I guess they'll take it until Carr has that bad 3-interception game and then you guys lose. But at least for the time being, they have his back, kind of, until you guys lose. And then everyone will start getting mad and pissed and whatnot. So. Yeah. And again, he's changed a lot. He used to be that guy that was a little arrogant and a little cocky. He'd have the flag and he'd plant it in college football. And we remember a lot of the big matchups that we had in college football back in the day, right? And, he had that aura and that swagger, and it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. And then he ended up, getting married, and, he had a kid, and then got humbled a little bit, and sometimes that's what exactly that you need, to get a pet or a kid or to get traded, or a combination of 3 of those things, and end up getting a new cat or a new dog or a new baby. You end up having a new girlfriend, a new wife, a new town to go to. But it really started from leaving the Browns, going to Sean McVay and the Rams, and we saw some flashes with Sean McVay, and then he came to the Bucs, and we fucking love him. And he's definitely been like a Jared Goff, where it's like the perfect fit. Maybe Jared Goff wasn't the fit for the Rams, but it's a perfect fit for the Lions. And the same thing with Baker. It might not have been a perfect fit for the Browns and the Rams, but it is a perfect fit for the Tampa Bay Bucs, and we're really happy to have him. Yeah. But the Panthers might be even worse than last year. Like I said, because if you played them last year, based on your guys' roster, do you think you would have done the same exact thing? It definitely, you guys were firing on all cylinders. But let's admit that, the Panthers are the worst team in football. It's like when the Jags were the worst team in football for 2 years, the Panthers are even worse than them, Like Bryce is terrible. Offensive line is terrible. Running backs are terrible. Wide receivers are terrible. Defense is terrible. Coaching is terrible. And honestly, based on the beatdown that you gave them, it might be an 0-17 team. Like they might only win like maybe 1 or 2 games, if that. I mean, they don't look like they can even win 3 or 4 games this year. I mean, do they to you? I watched that whole game, and it's the worst Panther team that I've seen in a long fucking time. Cowboys, Eagles, and Chiefs. Well, at least you got the blowout, and the confidence out of the way in week 1. And then, pass incomplete. And then we'll get to see how good the Saints really are when you play the Cowboys, Eagles, and Chiefs, especially if you end up winning some of those games. And I'll be rooting for you guys to have a good season. And again, I'm not trying to shit on your guys' big blowout win. If the Bucs would have done that as well, and we would have won 50-10, I would have said the same exact thing. It's cool that Baker ended up beating the Panthers, by 40, but it's like this team is the worst team in football. Like, again, not every team is going to be able to beat a team by 40. So I will give you guys that credit with Carr and AK, the offensive line and the defense. But now when we play better teams, now if you guys still are able to put up 30, 40, 50, then you guys are really going to be threatening the Bucs for first place in the NFC South. But even if you don't, and you end up dropping some of these games of the Cowboys, Eagles, and Chiefs, I still think you guys are legit. And again, you guys are, well coached for the most part. Even though we don't think Dennis Allen really should be the head coach for you guys, he's more of a coordinator. And hopefully the offense and the defense will get it right. And I'll be rooting for you guys. And that will be the only Buck fan on planet Earth that will say that he's actually rooting for the Saints to have a good season. And I'm being genuine about that. So 47 and you only got 3. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. I'm always going to keep it 100, right? But I am happy that you guys, blew them out. I mean, obviously Panther fans like Finley and a few others on the channel are fucking depressed as shit, but I told them this team is bad and it's even worse than that Jag team that was the worst team for 2 years. So, I mean, this is like, remember when the Lions went like 0-16? I don't know if the Panthers this year are as bad as that team, but it doesn't look like they're going to win very many games this year. Montgomery with the short game, but I'll be rooting for you guys. All right, Megan, take care. Get some rest. Appreciate you. But what I will say is that I was very shocked on the score. Not that I didn't think that the Saints could put up that many points, but just, you don't really expect anyone to put up 40, 50 points week 1. But you guys gave them a whooping. Shotgun set, 2nd down and 5. Play action fake, Goff. Check down. Montgomery with the short game. Go to Sam Laporta, damn it. Yeah, Godwin played good for you, and that's good for, Chris Godwin fantasy owners, because when Brady was there, Godwin would get looks like with Evans. Evans is always going to be the number 1 for Baker, but I did see a different side of Baker today that he's trying to get everyone involved. Jalen McMillan, the rookie from the Huskies, as the number 3, Bucky Irving as the RB2, and also making a point to get Chris Godwin, involved early and often. Mike can still get his 1 or 2 touchdowns. It doesn't mean that Mike Evans needs to get 15 targets and Evans gets 3, and that's kind of how it was last year. Goff, going deep, got a man. Touchdown, Lions, Jameson Williams. But there's a flag on the play. But I'm happy, not only for Chris Godwin's sake, because again, he got left in the dust last year, and he wasn't really getting a lot of targets and a lot of stats, but he still is one of the best wide receiver 2s in the league with like a Devontae Smith on the Eagles and a few other players. Whether you have Puka or Cooper Kupp as the 2, I still think Godwin is still one of the top, 10 number 2s. He might have been top 5 number 2 a few years ago with like Brady, but now he might have scaled back a little bit. And there might be a few others that are better than him, but he still has enough game to score touchdowns and make big plays and get big first downs. And that's a big part of us, winning by the amount we did today against the Commandos. I like it when we spread the ball around and not just go to one player. Obviously, I have Mike Evans in fantasy and I want him to rake, but I would like to see Godwin and the others get some stats too. Extra point is up, and it is good. 17-3 Lions. Wow, that's surprising, huh? What was the biggest surprise for you and Zay? Like, for besides the score, who are the players that did good that you were surprised that did good besides Taylor? who should I be keeping an eye on the Saints? As far as, I mean, obviously the competition is going to get much heavier and a lot harder in the next 3 weeks. But to be able to come out of the gates and win by 30 plus, I don't care who you are. That's a fucking big win. I was hoping that was going to be more of a Sam Laporta, but hopefully that'll be something we can get here before the game is over. And obviously, J-Mo is on a lot of fantasy benches or still on the wire. Because, again, a lot of people, have to be able to watch a week or two. But just because someone blows up in week 1 or week 2 doesn't mean they're going to do it when you pick them up. And that's the kind of tricky part of fantasy. A guy can blow up week 1 and have big stats, but you have to be able to look at the targets after like a month to see if this is going to be a consistent thing or was that just kind of like in a one-off game. And especially when you got so many options, on the Lions. But again, their deep threat is definitely J-Mo. But right now, I only got 2.4 points out of Laporta, projected for 14. And Cooper Kupp has got 9.9, which is better. He's projected for 14.8. So I'm 5 points away there, but I'm 12 away from Laporta. I need Laporta to get more involved here. And it feels like the tight ends in general have not been able to really show out, at least not in week 1. Now, like on National Tight End Day, everyone will score at tight end, but a little weird to see all the tight ends like not really get as many targets. And like, have we had anybody at tight end that had a great game today? Like Puka's out for the game. I saw the 69-yarder and then a 53-yard punt. Yeah, he might have a big, massive season, huh? I'm going to keep an eye out. And obviously he's on the wire. I'm actually surprised that you didn't draft him. You should have drafted him. I mean, being the only Saint fan in the draft, I'm kind of shocked that you didn't draft him and put him on your bench. I mean, it's not like you probably would have started him, but I guess that's someone you can grab, on the wire. But there's always going to be a lot of surprises on week 1. Ingram, yeah, I'm going to look at the tight ends right now. Laporta 2.4, Brock Bowers for Zini got 11.8. Trey McBride with 8, Ingram with a 1, Goddard with a 7, Kincaid with a 2 for Sarah. These are terrible. Kelsey with a 6, Njoku with a 8, Andrews with a 3. So literally the best one was a rookie, Bowers, out of everyone so far. That's crazy. But I guess that's fantasy football for you, huh? But hopefully Sam Laporta can match Brock Bowers before this game is up. Little play action, flip to Kyron. Nice tackle by the Lions. Anzalone. A big pickup for the Lions. And again, the Lions defense looks much improved. Yeah, you definitely had a couple pieces that underwhelmed big time. I don't think anyone anticipated Marvin Harrison Jr. not getting enough looks. Obviously, the game plan was a little bit different there against the Buffalo Bills with Kyler, and James Atemenea-Akana and a few of the other options that they had. But with Kincaid and Marvin Harrison Jr. and some of those guys, if they would have normally, got points like they normally do, your point total would have been much, much higher. And that's just sometimes a risk. You just don't really know what the game plan is going to be. Even if the player is a good player, it just depends if they're going to be involved in the game plan for that game. But definitely it seems like the tight ends are not being used properly so far in week 1. Benching Browns D, but that was a given playing the Cowboys, and let's be honest, Deshaun Watson is ass. The Browns were better with Joe Flacco. If Joe Flacco was quarterback, everyone's stats would be better still, even at his old ass age of like $1 billion, right? Watson's garbage, right? I'm not saying the Browns would have won with Flacco, but they would have played a lot better and we would have gotten a lot more fantasy points out of our guys. Cooper Kupp, there we go. First down, Rams. Yeah, all field goals. Aubrey got me 21 points at kicker as well. So again, there's a reason why you go for certain players. But, for me to have a -2 and I have a chance to score the most points in the league, I would say that's, pretty good. But I still need Laporta and Cup to step up. Cup now is at 15.3. There we go. Cup's got a chance to get me 20 to 30 if he can score a touchdown, especially if Puka's out. Stafford going deep. Let's go. Mike Evans as my 1, Cooper Kupp as my 2. And again, everyone else has a big high-end wide receiver. But you got to remember, Cooper Kupp was injured last year. Mike Evans ended up being, like one of the top 5 receivers last year. So, for me to have both of those guys, sometimes they'll be ranked, as of all the wide receivers, maybe 14th and 15th in fantasy when other people have a top 5 wide receiver. But just because you have a top 5 wide receiver that week doesn't mean they're going to put up top 5 stats. And that's something that, people have to be able to monitor too if they have good pieces on the bench. Stafford, little bootleg, play action. Johnson, short game. Good defense there by the Lions. Yeah, could be. And again, I had an amazing wide receiving core, right? I had Amon-Ra, Jay Jetta, but then he got hurt. I had Keenan Allen, right? And then I also had, I had Amon-Ra, Jay Jetta, Keenan Allen, and Mike Evans. So I was pretty stacked. Well, I had so many receivers I couldn't even play them all. But my running backs were weak as shit. I had David Montgomery, right? And I had Rachaad White, which I have this year as well. And then I had David Montgomery, but then he got hurt. And then I was stuck with like Najee and like Jalen Warren. And then eventually I just gave up on them. But they were giving me about 10 points a week. But, I was really struggling there. And I made a fact of it because I normally don't go wide receiver heavy. But I ended up still, making it to the championship. But it shows you at flex, I'm the only person in the league that has a running back at flex. Everyone else has wide receiver. And, if James the Terminator Conner can put up big points like he did with Rachaad White, as one of my running backs as well, and then having, some good depth, with Christian McCaffrey, Rachaad White as my 2, and then James the Terminator Conner as my flex. If you notice, if you look at the points, me and Reflect, I think, scored the most points at flex with Connor and Rashee Rice. And again, if you're going to put a wide receiver at flex, you've got to make sure they hit, and you got to hope that they get 15 points or more. Because if you're only getting 5 to 10 at your flex, you're probably going to lose. I'm hoping so. I'm at 121.78. I got Cooper Kupp, Sam Laporta, and I got Christian McCaffrey tomorrow. So I'm trying to score the most points in the league every week. Now, I want to be projected for the most with Reflect, and I want to score the most. That's just, my internal goal. I try to be able to kind of set the standard. So then when you look at my team and you look at the projection, you swear, or if you look at my points and you're like, bastard, I want people to look at that. And it's kind of the same thing if you look at Reflect's team. You look at it and you're like, damn, look at that depth. And then you also look at the bench. And then if your bench is scoring points too and you have a second unit, then you really know that if injuries come, you're going to be okay. But it all depends on what you did in the draft and how effective you are on the wire as well. But right now, Zini Panini is at 125.66, and I had a -2 with my defense, and now I'm at 121.78. So I only need 4 points to win, and I got Cooper Kupp, Sam Laporta, and Christian McCaffrey tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. But I got 21 out of Aubrey, -2 out of Chief defense, but I took a risk there because I wanted more depth at my running backs and my bench. 19.3 from James Conner. Laporta is at a 2.4, bad. Cooper Kupp, 15.3, good. Evans, 23.1 with 2 tutties, great. Rachaad White, 16.6, thumbs up. And then the best one for me, AR, right? Anthony Richardson, 3 fucking tutties, 2 in the air, 1 on the ground, scored the second most to Josh Allen. 26.08, and he was projected for 19. So I'm really hoping that Anthony can do that for me all year. And if he has a year like he did in week 1, I might win it all. But again, I just don't know if he'll be able to stay healthy throughout the whole year and put up these beast mode stats. But I go for athletes. Reflect does the same. We go for a certain type of player that's an athlete. Richardson, athlete. McCaffrey, athlete. White, Evans, Kupp, Laporta, Connor, athletes. And those are the guys that you want. Even on the bench, Dak Prescott, Jerome Ford, Cortland Sutton. Even though I feel Bo Nix and Russell Wilson, Russell had a better connection with Sutton, and I feel Cortland Sutton's stats aren't going to be as good this year because Bo isn't as good. Lad McConkey scored a touchdown. He looks like he's going to be a favorite for Justin Herbert. He's staying on my roster. Tony Pollard had a great game, 18.4 and a tutty. D-Hop had a bad game, only 1 point. And then Luke McCaffrey, Christian's brother, if Jaden Daniels would just goddamn throw the ball, I think Luke could have had an 8 or a 9 or a 10. But, I felt like Daniels is a little too much of a me player. So I think that the recommendation that I tried to give for me and Reflect, we probably were both going to drop him at some point. I don't know if I'll drop him next week or in a month, but if I need to get a defense, I got to drop, Luke. And it's still possible that Luke might be able to do it, but the Washington Commandos are dysfunctional as fuck. And Jaden Daniels is more of a me player. He had guys open, and he's like, fuck it, I'm just going to run and tuck it, and I'm just going to fucking run. And I've never seen a player so selfish. And again, the offensive line wasn't very good, for the Commandos. And the Bucs were playing good defense. But there was a lot of plays that could have been made to Scary Terry, to fucking Luke McCaffrey, to their whole roster. And Daniels was like, fuck you, I'm just going to run it myself. And not the same type of situation as a Puka Nacua and Sean McVay. And I wanted to pray that Luke could have did something, because if you watch Luke's tape at Rice, he's a gamer like his dad Ed and like his brother Christian, but I just don't think he's going to get enough targets to be able to stay on my roster, unfortunately. You think so? Yeah, I like your bench too, Reflect, and that's why I feel when you look at the teams in our fantasy league, me and Reflect are going to set the standard. Not saying that Sarah, Captain Oreo, and some of the other teams in the league can't win at all, or Megan, anybody, can end up, competing. But if you're just looking at roster and you're looking at bench, I think it's pretty clear, with me and Reflect, our two teams are the best in the league. And again, there's a few other teams right behind us, but we'll see what happens. It's a long year. We're in week 1, so we'll see what happens. 17-13 Detroit. And obviously an injury here, injury there, things could change. It could be me and Reflect at the top. All of a sudden our guys get hurt, and then all of a sudden Captain Oreo takes over, Megan takes over, Sarah takes over, and then we're sitting in 3rd or 4th place. That could happen too. Man in motion. 3rd down and 6. Stafford, floater, and complete. Flag on the play. Aubrey with 21 points as a kicker, though. Let's go. And you know what's crazy? Zini Panini, right? She ended up getting like almost 40 points out of her kicker and her defense. And I'm just lucky that Joe Burrow played bad. Otherwise, if, some of her starters would have played good, Burrow only gave her an 8. Pacheco 15, Cook 13, Chase 12, Smith 15, Bowers 11, Zay Flowers 11, Minnesota defense 21, Kaimi Fairbairn 17. Holy shit, 38 out of defense and kicker, the most in our league, but that was still not enough for her to win. So it shows you, like, if you can dominate at kicker and defense, sometimes that will single-handedly win you the week, but you have to make sure that your other positions, the other 7, you can't have too many shit to bed. You have to be on about 6 out of 7. If you only hit 5 out of 7 and you're good defense and good kicker, that might not be enough. 1st and goal, handoff, touchdown, Rams. Kyron Williams, there's your fantasy points, baby. There you go. And as I look at a lot of the teams in fantasy, like if I look at your team, Reflect, a lot of the players, because I think we think alike, a lot of the players that you have, I would have drafted. And a lot of the guys that I have, I think you would have drafted. I feel it's like we're almost kind of mirroring each other. But again, I learned my lesson against you last year that I can't go weak at running back. I have to be very, very, strategic, and I'm going to have the most running backs in the league besides you. So, I have to make sure that I wanted to make sure my flex was a running back this year, because a couple years ago I had Saquon, Nick Chubb, and Josh Jacobs, 3 of the top 4 running backs that year, and I like that. I like being able to have that dominant RB1, RB2 and flex, and I'd rather play a running back at flex than a wide receiver. This is a personal preference, you know. But I thought it was a little unusual that I'm the only one that has a running back at the flex, and literally all the other 9 individuals have wide receivers. But I guess, you know, it's hard to be able to have a running back good enough to put in the flex. But that's why I got James the Terminator Kana. I believe in James. And again, I could have picked a high-end wide receiver when I picked James, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick him specifically to be my flex. And so far, so good. James the Terminator Kana, ballin'. 17-10 Lions. Great points there. And you know, another thing too, I think it's just because you're so intelligent that I learn a lot from you and you learn a lot from me. So we kind of pick off little secrets from each other, like strategy wise. So you do something good last year, then maybe I mimic that. Or I do something good this year and maybe you mimic it this year or next year. So a lot of times it's not just, you know, trying to be a genius by yourself. You have to pay attention to the other smart individuals that are in the league or in the room and kind of pick their brain a little bit and look for the type of players that they like as well. And it might end up being a favorite of yours in the future. And there's more depth at wide receiver than there is at running back. Like if you look at the running back wire, there's like barely anything there. But on the wide receiver wire, there's literally like 15 pieces that if you needed a wide receiver to get you to 10, you probably could find one. Maybe not find a guy on the wire that's going to get you 20, you know, consistently, but maybe a guy that can get you 10 to 15. And sometimes that's good enough at flex to win your league. So 17-10. Lions. But I learned a lot from you last year. And like I said, out of the 8 years that I've done this league on the channel, I think you are the one that is closest to me based off strategy, analytics, statistics. And you already know how we do the Mariners, you know, and I feel that we've carried that over to fantasy football and pretty much everything that we do. So. You got 125.66. Nice, Alan. There you go. And I got some Cowboys on my team too. You know, I got Dak as my backup. He got paid. He got the money. And obviously I wanted to make a fact that I got Aubrey, because if I wasn't going to get the defense that I wanted, I was going to get the kicker that I wanted. And again, he's the best kicker in football, in my opinion. You know, the guy's got the best range from 50 yards. It's no longer Justin Tucker's league and that we're just living in his world. You know, Aubrey is the best kicker, in my opinion, in football, and he was last year, and I think he's going to be this year as well. And a lot of times in fantasy, you're not going to be good 2 or 3 years in a row. Just like Carlson was good for the Raiders 2 years, then I was an idiot, and I picked him, and then he ended up sucking. So usually 2 years is the max, unless you're like a Hall of Fame or special player like Tucker. And maybe Aubrey, if he can keep playing like this, who knows? Maybe Aubrey will end up turning into a Hall of Fame kicker or a very, very, very good one, a borderline. Yeah. Hell yeah. And the Astros lost, correct? First down and 10. Goff, play action. Check down. God, Gibbs is fast. Sometimes I feel like Gibbs's legs are going faster than what his brain is like thinking that he wants his legs to do. You know, it's like his legs are just running so fast that he needs to be able to think of like where he wants to go next. Yeah, and even though I didn't get to some people, you know, a lot of top 5 or top 8 wide receivers, you know, I did get 2 guys that are going to be right next to each other all year in Evans and Kupp. You know, so even if they're ranked 10th and 11th or 14th and 15th, I don't really care what they want to say what the ranking is. You know, you can rank Evans and Cooper Kupp 14th or 15th for the week, but I know that they can put up top 5 production as any of the other elite receivers. You know, they might not be as popular as some of the other guys like Amon-Ra or Tyreek, but I know that, you know, with the quarterbacks that, you know, are going to throw the ball to those guys, I'm going to have a chance to compete with the big boys that might have more popular receivers on their roster. 3rd down and 5. Man in motion, J-Mo. Audible at the line. A little check. Give it to fucking Sam Laporta. Laporta! He took too long to go to Laporta. Laporta was already open for like fucking 3 seconds, and then he gave it to him after the defense already was set in their zone. Come on, Stafford. He was already initially open. Bang, bang. 1 second, 2 second. Throw the ball. Open. Open. He should have kept going with the cross, though, instead of stopping there on that slant. Yeah, you got a few Cowboy players, Allen. Hell yeah. 4th and 1. Lions with the punt. Wow, I don't know if I would have fell on the ball there. That was risky. Jalen Hurts, 16.42. Kyron Williams, 13.1. Mixon, 26.8. I love him. CD, 13.6, which is definitely low for him. He should be getting almost 20 every game, but a little bit of a rough game. You know, didn't get in the end zone. That's why. 5 receptions, 61 yards. Normally he does once, twice, or 3 times. CD will end up having 30, 40, 50-point games this year, 100%, especially when they play at home in Dallas. Nico with 17.7, stud. Njoku, 8.4. Rashee Rice, 17.3. Nolans D, 16. And Myers, your kicker, 10. Solid. And Kyler with 14 on the bench. Moss with 14 on the bench. And Thomas with 14.7 on the bench. The sleeper, your last pick. I thought that was a brilliant pick by you because I think most fans have no idea who that is. And again, sometimes when you can get a guy that nobody really knows or only a couple of the people in the league know who it is, you can end up getting a steal. So if someone gets injured, boop, or someone has a bye, you can throw him in there with confidence that he can get 10 points or more. I'm going to get a quick drink here, refill. Give me 1 sec. 17-10, Lions.
Shower. Stop up your day.
Shotgun set, first down and 10, 17-10 Lions. And this is a kind of what we thought we were going to get maybe in the first half. But again, better late than never. And hopefully, ooh, big hit. But hopefully we can get a little bit more out of both teams. So that way we can get some more fantasy points. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to do Niners and Jets. Really excited about that. Breece Hall, Christian McCaffrey and company, Aaron Rodgers, Brock Purdy. And then we're going to do the Mariner game on Tuesday against Elliott's Padres. I'm really excited about that. Seems like it's been forever since we did a Mariner game. Little check down. Oh my. Hit him with the skirt. Go. The 50, the 40, the 30. Wow. What a catch and what yak yards after that. That was incredible. I mean, I really wish that was Cooper Kupp if I'm being honest, but I'll take that. Wow. End of the third quarter, 17-10, Detroit. But I think the common thing that we can learn from today's game, the Rams and Lions defense is better than it was last year. You know, maybe not the Rams per se because they don't have Aaron Donald, but at least to hold Detroit to 17 up to this point is kind of impressive. And then the Lions defense is obviously better than last year. That's for damn sure. You know, Rams obviously are going to, you know, I think, you know, their defense was better last year with Aaron Donald, but I'm impressed without Aaron Donald that they've been able to hold Detroit to 17. I think that's better worded than I say it that way, because you're not going to be a better defense without Aaron Donald. Who am I kidding? You know, you got Aaron Donald, arguably one of the best D tackles that's ever lived. You're not going to be better without him. You're going to be worse. But as far as the personnel and the strategy is involved, I'm pretty impressed with both of these defenses so far. Yeah, I got a brand new look. So again, brand new thumbnails and a brand new look. The presentation is stepped up big time. The thumbnail is 10 out of 10. The presentation is 10 out of 10. And again, I've done 2 so far. So I ended up doing the Ravens and Chiefs, and then I did the Packers and Eagles so far. And then tomorrow morning when I wake up, at some point after I take care of Paisley, I'll probably try to do a couple. It takes a little bit more effort because I got to make a nice thumbnail now with each one. So I'm not going to be able to do as many as I did in the past, but hopefully I'll be able to hit the algorithm and get more views. But they didn't really help me out in my first 2 videos, which is kind of a shame. But hopefully, you know, the views will get better on them. Because if I'm not getting enough views on them after a month, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do them. I mean, I'm going to keep doing the live streams, but if I'm going to be taking a lot of time and effort and doing multiple takes and having to make a thumbnail, and then I'm only getting like 100 views or 200, that's not worth it to me. You know, if we're going to be getting, you know, 300, 500, 1,000, 2,000, you know, like once, you know, if I get something that's worth my effort, you know, then I want to continue to do it. And I know not everyone is going to be able to hit the algorithm, but considering the thumbnails are improved and then the actual presentation is improved, there should be no reason that I'm getting like 100, you know what I mean? Unless the algorithm isn't helping me out, which it's not. So like I can look it up and I'm not even in the top, whatever. So I don't know what's going on with that with YouTube, but hopefully they'll do your boy a solid and put him higher in the priority. Because I do enjoy doing them. And again, I want to be able to show people the new thumbnails and the new background look when I do them, because I think it looks awesome. But, you know, I have to make sure I'm looking out for my own mental health and my time, you know, because Paisley is going to be number 1. And I want to make sure that I'm taking care of her. So, but if you want to check out what they look like, Alan, you can check out the 2. And I'm pretty sure you'll be pleased on how they look. Awesome. I appreciate that. Allen is the man. 17-10 Lions. Cooper Kupp in motion. Shotgun set. Kupp. Gain of 4. Cooper Kupp, get me 20 points, baby. You got to make up for Laporta. What a horrible week for tight ends. Brock Bowers being the number 1 tight end out of all tight ends with 11. What the hell is going on in the NFL? Tight end doesn't matter anymore? We got to wait till National Tight End Day for the tight ends to do anything? I've never seen so many tight ends struggle in week 1 before. Lack of targets. 2nd down and 5. Play action fake. Stafford. Flag on the play. Demarcus Robinson, the intended receiver, should be PI. Well, I don't think anyone is worth dropping yet, even Mark Andrews in the Isaiah Likely situation. But I think that people maybe deserve to go to the bench, possibly, you know, and then, you know, if you want to try to find another one on the wire, but there's not too many that really had a game like Likely. Likely and Bowers really were like the only ones that did anything. like double-digit wise. Handoff. Kyron trying to get his second touchdown, stopped. Good defense there by Aiden Hutchinson and company. Reflect wants more points, baby. Bro, if you're in a bad mood, you can take the rest of the day off, bro. You know, like I said, you know, if you're going to be in a bad mood because the Broncos lost and the Ducks aren't what you thought they were going to be, you know, go ahead and take the rest of the day off, bro. Touchdown, Rams. Because obviously you're not in a good headspace, you know, and if you're going to have the negativity and you're going to bring the room down with your comments, you know, just take the rest of the day off, bro. Life isn't fair, bro. Sports isn't fair. You're not going to be able to get what you want all the time. I mean, you got to hold yourself accountable, my guy. You know, we weren't the ones that left T. Higgins in the game in fantasy, you know, when he was out for 2 days. You know, again, you know, if you're mentally not right, go ahead and take the rest of the day off, bro. Second down and goal. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Handoff up the middle. And Kyron Williams tripped up. Just gain of a couple. Good defense there by the Lions. You know, but whenever we do the fantasy league, we've been doing it for 8 years. Everyone cares, you know, and we want to make sure that we have people that are in the league that care. So that's going to be something that not only do we talk about the game, but we're going to talk about our players and our teams. So shotgun set. Stafford. One-on-one ball. And complete. Flag on the play. I'm just thinking it might be better for you just to take the rest of the day off and not worry about football, you know. Work on your Twitter/X, you know, do some research on the Broncos or the Ducks, you know, use your time more effectively, something more positive for your mental health. I mean, if you feel that you can be positive in the room, stay. But again, you know, I'm giving you an opportunity to just, you know, not have to do anything for the rest of the stream and just to enjoy the rest of your day the best that you can. Kick is up, and it's good. 17-13 Lions. 23-77 to go to hit the goal. You know, sports teams, you know, and favorite players, you know, sometimes, you know, things go our way and sometimes, you know, things don't. You know, it all depends on how you're able to react and to be able to adjust. So if you want to stay. If you can be positive. If not, just take the day off and, you know, do something that'll make you happy. (17-13) Detroit. Win probability for Detroit now 67.1%. But hopefully we'll get a little bit more action here with 12:32 to go. Yeah, and even though you lost to the Texans, like you're like happy of what you saw. You know what I mean? Like I said, when you saw AR being AR, you're like, oh, like it wasn't really necessarily the offensive fault, that you guys lost. It was, the defense, and you're going against CJ Stroud. I mean, how many teams are going to be able to defend that? CJ Stroud, right? Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell. I mean, give me a break. Like there's not going to be very many teams that are going to be able to slow that down or stop that. So considering that you were able to go toe to toe with AR, and obviously Jonathan Taylor didn't really have the game that you were expecting. And maybe if he did, maybe you end up getting the dub. But overall, Colts fans were disappointed, but they played fucking good. They did what we thought AR was going to do. And then he even went above and beyond, It's just now being able to get the offensive line and the defense firmed up a little bit. So when you play a team not as good as the Texans, you win and you take care of business. And when you do play a team again like the Texans, or a team of that caliber, what things need to be adjusted to give you a better chance to possibly win the game. But I was super impressed with the Colts. And again, it's not like the Texans defense was lights out. They had holes in their game too. It was pretty much whoever had the ball last was going to win that game, or that's kind of what it felt like. So, yeah, and the Texans might end up being in the Super Bowl this year, right? Or AFC Championship game. So, I mean, AR had probably some of the best throws all day. Like I'm trying to think of who had a better big, long, deep throws than AR. I mean, he might have been like the guy that had the best throws in the NFL this weekend, especially on that first one when he slipped and then he still threw it for 60. That was fucking impressive. Right on the money to Alec Pierce. Penei Sewell, go Ducks. Finley in the building. What's good? Good tackle. Second down and 10 on the Detroit 30. Less than 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Man in motion. Sam Laporta. Come on, baby. Get the ball to Sam. False start. Yeah, how you doing mentally, Finley? With all the Panther fans. I mean, at least on the bright side, I guess you don't have to play the Saints every week. But that was not what anyone was expecting. We expected, that they probably weren't going to beat the Saints, but I don't know if anyone expected them to give up that many. But hopefully you guys will win a couple games this year. I mean, no one wants to see 0-17, but I guess on the bright side, if you guys only win 1 to 4 games, you're going to get the first pick in the draft, and then hopefully you can build off that. But one thing I can respect about you, Finley, you're always going to be Panthers and Florida Gators, forever. But the Florida Gator quarterback that came in had a good game. I ended up liking a post when that came up on my feed. So I know that they replaced the quarterback there, and the new guy that came in actually balled out. So nice to see that at least you're getting some of the pieces corrected there at Florida. Goff. Jared Goff getting that first down. Move the chains. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. We're trying to get at least to 20. Normally it's like 30 to 50, but we got limited people. We're at 13 right now. We need 7 more before the game ends. And I don't know if we're going to get to 20, but now we need 6. But I'm hoping we can get to at least 20 before the game ends. Goff, play action fake. J-Mo down the sidelines. First down, Lions. J-Mo having himself a game, but what about Laporta and Amon-Ra? Come on, Goff. We're at 23, 77 to go. Yeah, Elliott was a Saints fan. We have a couple of Saints fans, Zay and Elliott, and they were saying that too, how Taylor ended up getting 3. Obviously, protection problems there up front. And, you know, the Jags were the worst team for 2 years, and they had to try to clean it up, and they got Trevor Lawrence, and, you know, they tried to get it back on track. But with this Panther team, it might take a few years, you know, rather than just 1 or 2. It might be like 4 or 5, you know, depending on the coach and, you know, the overall prospects that end up getting drafted and free agents, you know. But hopefully at some point it ends up turning around for you. I don't want to see anyone miserable. Yeah, Puka. Captain Oreo, thank you, bro. Second down and 3. I don't know. I think with me, you know, just being at the age that I am, I don't really get that angry anymore, you know, on every single game, you know, that my team loses, like, you know, Mariners or Buccaneers or Ducks or Blazers or Kraken. When I was younger, it would affect me. But I think really the only games that really got underneath like my skin that I was like, damn, was maybe the Huskies and Ducks from last year when we lost by 3 twice. But other than that, that's probably the only time. And it didn't really make me angry. I was just kind of disappointed, you know. But then after I went on a walk with Paisley, you know, and you just kind of clear your head, usually you're good after that. But I'll tell you, when I was younger, you know, sometimes it would affect me for like a week until the next game. Big interception by the Rams. Wow. You try to go to Amon-Ra and that's what happens? Damn. Jared Goff not really looking as sharp, you know, with Amon-Ra and obviously Sam Laporta. Timed route right there. And that was obviously a good job by the Rams in cluing and running into the receiver and still getting that pick. Did he drop it, though? He might have dropped it. What a big collision right there. I think that's on the ground. Incomplete. Incomplete. I think you just have to be able to have like perspective, you know, on your team and knowing your depth and, you know, just understanding, you know, do you have the right coach? Do you have the right players? And I think a lot of it comes from if your team has ever made a championship or an NFC, AFC championship or a Natty or a World Series. And even if you didn't win it, you knew how good your team was at that point. So if you look at your team now and you don't have the same kind of depth, then you can't have the same type of expectations, you know. But if you have these high expectations to go all the way, even though you know your team doesn't have the depth, it's going to drive you nuts. So yeah, why aren't they challenging this? Wow, what the hell is going on here? 1 turnover each. Man in motion. Cooper Kupp. Stafford. Kupp. Let's go, baby. Cooper Kupp with almost 20 for me. 18.6. Let's go. Only 5.7 out of Laporta, though. Boo. I can't believe they didn't challenge that. They would have won that challenge. Second down and 3. Less than 8:40 to go in the fourth quarter. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford. Pressure on the edge. Parkinson with the catch to the LA 42 for 13 yards. And we'll do Jets Niners tomorrow. And then we'll do the Padres and the Mariners on Tuesday evening. Third down and 1. Man in motion. First down, Rams. He looked at Cooper Kupp and then decided to go away from him. Yeah. Kupp was covered too. Kupp with another catch. No gain. Down to the LA 42. But that's cool with PPR. You can still get a catch for 0 yards and get 1 point. I mean, obviously you want to be able to get positive yardage no matter what, but sometimes the defense is, on point right there, and then you just don't really get anything. Less than 7 minutes to go. Lots of motion from the Rams almost on every play. Stafford, good protection. Demarcus Robinson with the catch. And what are they saying that the Puka injury is? Have they said anything when I was feeding Paisley and whatnot? Like what the injury is for Puka? Hand off. Kyron Williams right up the middle for 2 yards to the Detroit 47. First down, Rams. Nebraska, well, they beat the shit out of Colorado, right? With the Patrick Mahomes clone. Rankings just came out. Yeah, if you want to type those in or the ones that are notable. I haven't even checked the rankings yet. What's Oregon? Man in motion. Shotgun set. Play action fake. Stafford going long, going deep. Kupp. Wow, toe drag swag by Cooper Kupp. Unbelievable. That's my boy. Nice job, Cooper. Hell yeah. Not bad when you can get 23 out of Mike Evans and 22.6 out of Kupp. Fuck yeah. Kyron Williams. First down, Rams. No replay there. Wow. Cooper Kupp is insane. Oregon is 9th. So we've won 2 games and we've dropped twice. So we were 3rd. And then we went to 7th, and then now we're 9th. But, deservedly so. Might be the only time a team wins first 2 games and drops twice. But fair. Final 5. Shotgun set. Stafford in trouble. Got a man. Demarcus Robinson at the 10-yard line. Actually, the 9-yard line. 13-yard gain from Matthew Stafford to Demarcus Robinson. How the hell are the Huskies not on there yet? That's insanity. Arizona and Northern Illinois on there. Wow. $17-13 Detroit. Come on, baby. I need fantasy. Stafford, Kupp. Hell yeah. There we go. Cooper Kupp with the touchdown. Fuck yeah. Let's go. Hell yeah. 30.5 out of Cooper Kupp. Let's go, baby. I knew that was going to be a good pick for my wide receiver too. Let's go. Extra point is up, and it's good. What a game. 2017 Rams. We're still looking for more for Kyron, more for Laporta, more for Amon-Ra. And we might get a chance to get Gibbs and Montgomery, a few more looks. Michigan is 17-1 with sanctions. I need to look at the rankings now. Yeah, even Odin was saying that Notre Dame is not it. And they were obviously overrated like Oregon was. I need to look at this list. Where is it? Rankings. All right, AP top 25. Georgia, Texas, Ohio State, 1, 2, 3. No surprise there. Bama, 4. No surprise there. Ole Miss, 5. Mizzou, 6. Tennessee, 7. Penn State, 8. Oregon, 9. Miami, 10 with Cam Ward. USC, 11. Seems like they're a little low. Utah, 12. Oklahoma State, 13. Kansas State, 14. OU, 15. LSU, 16. Michigan, 17. Notre Dame, 18. Seems like Michigan and Notre Dame are still up there just based on the school that they are, their legacy. Louisville, 19. Arizona, 20. Iowa State, 21. Clemson, 22. Nebraska, 23. BC, 24. And Northern Illinois, 25. And then others receiving votes, Illinois, Boise State, A&M, Syracuse, Memphis, Washington, Iowa, Kansas, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Liberty, Wisconsin, UNLV, North Carolina, Cal, BYU, TCU, and UCF. Washington, 27 votes. Iowa, 24. Drop from the rankings. Kansas, 19. Iowa, 21. Georgia Tech, 23. And NC State, 24. And then the AFCA coaches poll is a little different. They have Oregon at 6. USC at 11. Utah at 10. Arizona at 18. Washington at 22 in this poll. So Washington is on at least one poll. Yeah, Washington should be bare minimum 24 or 25. No exceptions. You know, somewhere between 20 and 25. Bias is real. Clemson in Colorado is overrated. Yeah, well, add Oregon to the list too. I mean, they're my team, but, you know, it is what it is. Offensive line stinks. But you know what doesn't stink? Cooper Kupp. All right, here we go. 2017. Touchback. $18 targets for fucking Cooper Kupp. My boy. 13 catches out of 18 targets. Yes, sir. All right, Lions, your turn. Shotgun set. Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown. They need to get him going. Sam Laporta, hello? Laporta at a 5.7. My God. Second down and 5. Laporta in motion. Play action fake. Blitz coming off the edge. Goff got blasted. Incomplete. Third down and 5. Yeah, I was just trying to catch up to you because when I started to look at the projections, even when I was at -2, I was hoping that we would both hit 130 and above. And I don't know what I'm going to end with. If McCaffrey has a big game like Saquon, it could be a big night, big week. But it does show you that, you know, if you put the right lineup in, you can still shit the bed with 2 spots and still win big. Intercepted. Oh, he dropped it. How did he drop that? What happened to my hands? Oh, Durant. You got to channel your inner KD right there. Lions with the punt. Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's because of Aaron Rodgers. I think it's because, you know, Breece Hall, right? Garrett Wilson and the defense, you know, and because like if it was about Aaron Rodgers would have been drafted very high in fantasy, and Aaron Rodgers wasn't really drafted very high. Like I think most people, when they drafted Aaron, it was like he might have been like the 10th or 12th quarterback taken. So they still think that Aaron maybe has some game left. But if they thought that they were going to be Super Bowl contenders, Aaron would have been drafted a lot higher. You know, he would have been one of the top 5 quarterbacks off the board. And I don't think very many people drafted Aaron as one of the top 5. So, but obviously with Aaron, you know, out compared to Aaron in, we saw what happened last year, right? You know, the media will always have their, you know, certain favorites, but that doesn't mean that they're going to, you know, live up to the expectations. Injuries are a mother sucker. All right, we need 4 more likes to get to 20. If you're in the room and haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now we need 3 more. We're at 17. All we want is get 3 more before the stream ends, and then we'll just call it, you know, the best that we could do with, you know, what we had to work with, right? 3 more. 3 more, baby. $20 on the Packers. Tom Brady's first year. Still, you know what? It's still crazy to me that, you know, Brady and Gronk and AB and Bruce Arians, like, you know, I'm an OG guy. You know, Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, John Lynch, Rondé Barber, Mike Allstott. Those are my guys. That's who I identify with, right? So that one will always be the most special to me. But like when Brady and Gronk came, you know, and then AB was just kind of a cherry on top, even though I knew he was crazy, you know, like it still doesn't seem real that shit happened. Brady and Gronk left the Pats, joined the Bucs, and won the Super Bowl in their first year. We had a team deep enough to do it, but it's like one thing to say that you're going to do it, and then another thing to actually do it. Like it still doesn't feel real that I have a second championship with Brady. It's weird. Yeah, he's pretty close with those guys. Grant Fisher with a dope throwback. Mitchell and Ness and Barry Sanders there on the screen. Olympian. Shout out. All right, shotgun set here for the Rams. And go to Cooper Kupp and Kyron Williams, baby. Oh, is he trying to break a record? Like, how many targets is he trying to get Cooper Kupp? Like 25? My God. Get your walk in. I'm going to be doing mine here in just a little bit as well. Talk to you tomorrow, Fantasy Champ. Man in motion. Shotgun set. Stafford. Pass incomplete. No flags on the play. 3rd down and 5. On the Rams 16. Massive play here. Yeah. Have a good one, bro. Enjoy your walk. Get that exercise in. Great for the mental health. Yeah, Patriots surprised everyone on planet Earth, but it was more the Bengals, not playing well. But again, no Joe Mixon, no T. Higgins in the game. Mixon on the Texans. Jamar not happy with the contract. First down, Rams. But I really thought the offensive line really wasn't that good. You don't have any running backs that are consistent anymore. The wide receiver room isn't the same with no Tyler Boyd either. And then the defense, that might be one of the things that, you could say that this could be something there at some point. But, once they lost Jesse Bates, I felt like, the Bengal team from the Super Bowl, I'm not sure if you're ever going to get back to the Super Bowl with Joe Burrow. It seemed like they would get back right away. But sometimes when you go to a Super Bowl and lose, you just don't get back. And then the team gets demolished with money and contracts and people going to new teams. Kyron Williams runs into a wall. All right, we need one more like to hit 20. We're at 19. If you're in the room or you just hopped in, do your boy a solid. One last like to be able to get to our number for the night. One more. We're at 19. Let's get to 20, baby. Cooper Kupp, you fucking fantasy god, you. Way to make me look smart. Nice job, Cooper. 14 receptions, 110 yards, 1 tutty, ties a career high, and he's going to break that record here before this game is up. We got 2:31 left. It's almost guaranteed he's going to get at least a couple looks. Jerry. Thank you, Jerry. Second down and 12. Shotgun set. Stafford. Oh, we got a penalty. False start on that offensive line. Five-yard penalty. Remains second down. Thank you, Jerry. Yeah, we're really hoping so, man. I'm going to do the Mariners on Tuesday when we play the Padres. So when we don't have football games, I am going to be doing the Mariners every single day that's available. Obviously, next Saturday we'll be doing Oregon State at 12:30. So I'm not sure what time the Mariners play next Saturday, but I'm going to try to continuously pump out as many as I can. Third down and 10. Yeah, this would be awesome. Played good today. Randy Arozarena and company. It seems like we're able to score runs except for that goose egg that Sarah gave us the day before where we lost like 2-0. But other than that, we're starting to get back on track. Going deep to Kupp, out of reach, incomplete. No flags. Fourth down and 10. Lions going to get the ball back here. Absolutely, I am. When NFL and college football are here, even though I'm going to do 150 out of 162 Mariner games, typically, like I'm going to do as many as I can. But once the NFL games are here, they are priority. And then obviously there'll be Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, right? And then obviously the Oregon Ducks on Saturday. But then other than that, all those other available days, those extra 3 days or 4 days, those will be filled in with Mariner games until the season obviously ends. So, but yeah, definitely doing the Niners and the Jets. I mean, I got Christian McCaffrey in fantasy, so yeah, I'm doing it. Definitely been a defensive battle here tonight. A surprise. Both defenses are a little bit better than I anticipated. No Aaron Donald. Rams defense has been flying around. And then with the Lions, their defense wasn't good last year, and they've drastically improved at corner as well as form tackling. I've seen a little bit of swagger out of the Lions. I don't know if the Lions are going to be a top 15 defense all year, but to go from 22 last year, it looks like they could possibly be one of the top 15 defenses this year if they don't have any major injuries. So we'll see. Yeah, what's going on with you, A-Guy? Anything going on with you? We're at 21 likes. If anyone has entered the room and hasn't smashed the like button yet, please do. It'd be greatly appreciated.
Designed with leading manufacturers to deliver sparkling clean dishes in any machine.
Yeah, not the performance that you were hoping to see, out of the Raiders. And obviously they started to fight, towards into that end zone when I was watching that game on Red Zone and whatnot. So do you think switch from Gardner Minshew to Aiden and go that direction? I mean, I know that's not necessarily going to turn everything around. I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be better than what we saw, obviously today against the Chargers. But are you ready to make the switch? Or are you going to give Gardner Minshew a few more games to see if he can prove himself? I think that they should have started with Aiden and then Gardner Minshew the backup. That's what I would have done at the beginning of the year based on how Aiden played. But obviously, if the coach thought that, Minshew coming in would be an upgrade, sometimes people think things are going to be an upgrade and they end up not being an upgrade. So yeah, at some point I might even throw in Ladd McConkey, at one of the positions, depending on when my guys have a bye week or, depending on how they do. But that rate of games should have been closer. It shouldn't have been that dramatic of a difference in the score, in my opinion. But execution really wasn't on point. And, maybe when the Raiders are in Vegas and they can hear that home crowd, that'll be the difference for them. Josh Allen's hand is injured. Puka Nacua has a knee injury. Hopefully it's not serious. Yeah, but probably only 4 games though, bro. Because if you guys end up starting 1-3, that's going to be it. 2-2, there we go. There's Sam Laporta, flag on the play. But again, 4 games is usually what it's going to be. So if you guys go 1-3, I hope you don't go 1-3 because I want your mental health to be good, But if you do go 1-3, they're going to make the change. 2-2, they might wait one more week and then you're going to get the change. But I think Aiden is the better quarterback personally. Not that I think Minshew is terrible, but he didn't play good today. I mean, especially when you got Jacoby Myers and Devontae Adams, and it's like you got certain pieces. Again, Max Crosby, defense did some things, but the offense, I agree, the offense was booty-o's. It was not what we expected. It was definitely a winnable game against the Chargers, but I hope that the season goes better than what it did for Week 1 for you. Nice job by Laporta trying to get me some points, baby. 8.5, that's a little bit better. Little screen pass. Gibbs, close to the first down marker. Steichen did make Minshew look good. And it's not like I think Minshew is bad. I just think he's a top 5 backup. I just don't think he's a guy that should get the starting job right out of the gates. I think that the team would have responded better by going with the guy that rallied them when the coaching change was made, instead of just saying that, hey, the guy that we have, we don't believe in you, and we're just going to bring in the guy with the mustache, and then Aiden just has to sit there and take it for a month. I think that was not the message that I would have wanted to direct to my players, being the new head coach, because he did a good job, filling in as coach last year. Goff. Gibbs goes down, incomplete on 3rd down and 2. Oh, shit. Baltimore next week? Yeah, that's not good. Damn. I saw him play, but honestly, I think he's kind of a ball hog. I think that, he's a guy that cares more about his stats and his sack lunches and his interceptions, and he wants himself to have good fantasy stats and good stats for himself, even if the team loses. There was a lot of throws that he decided not to make, just to tuck and run, and I never seen a rookie quarterback tuck and run more than him. The offensive line for the Commandos fucking stinks. The Buccaneer defense is not top 5. They're a top 20 defense, right? And they make plays from time to time. But I didn't see Scary Terry, Luke McCaffrey, and a lot of the guys that they had. Brown, they were open, and he just looked at them and just decided to run. And he did that a lot. And I get it, if you feel the pressure, you run. But there was at least 5 to 10 plays that he ran where he could have passed the ball. But I think he was worried about his stat line rather than trying to get his teammates involved. And I guess in fantasy purposes, if you got Jaden Daniels, like Chief does, because Jordan Love got hurt, you're going to get some stats there. But again, at the end of the day, the teammates are not going to be happy with you is if you just tuck and run every single fucking play. What team is going to, go and root for you if you're going to be working hard, running routes, full speed the whole game, and knowing that you're not going to get the fucking throw. So yeah, but if you actually watch the game against the Bucs, he did it like more than he should have. You know what I mean? Like there's a thing where you're like you do it when the pressure is there, fine. But then he got greedy, and then it was like he was trying to pad his fantasy stats instead of trying to get the guys into a rhythm. What do you want? Guys to block for you all game, knowing they're not going to get the ball? They're going to quit on you. It's like, yeah, you're the face of the franchise, but it's a dysfunctional franchise. And that's why a lot of guys fail in Washington. And we're not talking about the state of Washington, like with the Huskies and the Mariners. We're talking about DC. It's a dysfunctional fucking team, and it has been for a long time. It might be the most dysfunctional team in sports, if we're just being honest. It's like they have so much talent on offense and defense, but they never live up to the potential because they don't have the right coach or the right scheme or the right players at the right time, And you got Dan Quinn there, but he ain't going to be able to turn that ship around. Sorry, not going to happen. And I know Dan Quinn has earned the job as being the head coach, but believe you me, he will be fired in a year or two. Even as talented as he is as a coordinator or a coach, he ain't going to be able to turn that ship around. Pass incomplete. Amon-Ra St. Brown trying to get into a rhythm. 2nd down and 10. Yeah, Dan Quinn on another team, maybe, but not the Commandos. The Commandos, I don't even know what they would need to be able to turn it around. I mean, they're so dysfunctional, and obviously they don't have to worry about Daniel Snyder anymore, but it all started from the owner, and it trickled down to the GM and the head coaches, and it just feels like they're fucking cursed. I wouldn't want to be a fan of that team. 2nd down and 10, Goff. J-Mo. Yeah, but again, I've watched a lot of rookie debuts, and I've never seen someone so ball hungry, and again, he's got the speed, and he made some good plays and got some good first downs, but then there was some selfish plays where if he just would have been a little bit more patient to get his teammates involved, they would have been happier. Their stat lines would have been better. They were still going to lose to the Buccaneers, but I was a little disappointed in the selfishness out of Daniels, to be honest. I'm glad I don't have him on my team. Baker is the man, dude. he's married. He has a daughter. They do outside of football, the wives and the players, they hang out, and it shows. The chemistry is very special with Baker. And when we first got him, I thought it was just going to be a rental for a year or two, and maybe we would get a Michael Penix Jr. or a Bo Nix or a Caleb Williams. But now I'm really happy that Baker panned out, and I know it's not going to be for 10 years, but at least for the short period of time that we have Baker, he's like a Jared Goff, and I think it's a great fit for our team. 3rd down and 5. Laporta in motion, shotgun set. Okay, if you're at 3rd down and 5, field goal is up and it's good. We're knotted up at 20. But if it's 3rd down and 5, the thing that makes me the most irritated? Okay, you end up calling a 3rd down and 5 play, right? Why are the tight ends and the receivers running 2-yard routes? You have to get 5 for the 1st down. Like Laporta ran a 2-yard out. That's not going to be able to get you the 1st down. Even if he leans forward, you're only going to get 3. Run the route appropriately. But at least we have a tie game here. Well, Kirk Cousins didn't play well, and the Falcons ended up getting beat by broke-ass Steelers with Justin Fields. I would say that Michael Penix Jr. probably is going to play this year. Based on what we saw in Week 1, everyone said, Falcons are going to win the NFC South. The Saints and Bucs are done. Not so fast. And again, I know for some Falcons fans like Shep, it's not what they want to hear, but I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to give them a better chance to win than Kirk Cousins, based on what I saw in Week 1. I mean, hell, you got Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, a defense with fucking Matthew Judon from the Patriots, Justin Simmons, and you couldn't even beat the fucking Steelers with Justin Fields at home? Michael Penix Jr., it's your time, my guy. Yeah, I was skeptical about Baker myself as well, but I mean, I think really what happened is that him being married and having a daughter changed him, and it didn't make him soft. It made him obviously love his daughter and love his family, but it made him want a connection of family with the players. And that's why they hang out outside of football. And you can see the chemistry with the players, the offensive line, the running backs, the wide receivers. We truly are a family in Tampa, and we're trying to go for 4 NFC South crowns in a row. And I think we're going to do it this year. Not disrespecting the Saints. They ended up beating the Panthers by a lot, today, but again, the Panthers are in a rebuilding mode. It's going to be a couple years for the Panthers to get where they need to go. But, everyone thinking that the Falcons automatically with Kirk Cousins and Judon and Simmons and, Kyle Pitts and, Bijan and Drake London, that they were just going to leapfrog the Saints and the Bucs like we're not anything. Get out of here. We've won the NFC South 3 years in a row. We're just going to fold over and roll over and die. Not so fast. 17 seconds left here in the 4th quarter. Stafford going deep. Almost intercepted. Carlton Davis III, the former Buccaneer. What happened to my hands? And maybe if he had those hands on Tampa, he'd still be there. But I hope he's okay. He's a little bit injury prone. Penix could you imagine Penix on the Raiders? It would have been a perfect fit. He would be such a fan favorite. And I think he's going to be good for Atlanta, and again, you gave Kirk Cousins the money and then you ended up drafting a quarterback, but there's a reason why, right? All those Falcons fans are like, we're stupid. Why did we draft a quarterback in the top 10 when we paid Kirk Cousins? Because of this, because you didn't know if he would be healthy after the knee injury, or the Achilles. If you have an ACL, MCL, PCL, or an Achilles, there's a chance, at 35, 36, 37, you might not be the same guy. And it's kind of looking like he might not be the same guy. So in essence, the Falcons were smart to think about their future just in case Cousins might not be it anymore. Yeah, the special teams and the defense won that game. 100%. And, that's another team that should have drafted Michael Penix Jr. instead of J.J. McCarthy. Idiots. You have to understand Michael Penix Jr., it could be like the Tua of the NFC or the AFC, but better. Like, I feel he might not be Steve Young, but he's better than Michael Vick. And I think he's better than Tua. And sometimes Tua puts up top 10 stats. Like, if you watched college football last year, Michael has the it factor. He's got a good ball and he's got a good head on his shoulders. But again, some people think they know football evaluation and some don't. But the Vikings were stupid for picking J.J. McCarthy. That was the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just because what? Just because he played at Michigan and it's close to Minnesota? Idiots. Uh-oh, it's 12 noon. You know what time it is? Time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Overtime. Thank God we got overtime. And I got the Lions next week. So, they beat us when we wore the creamsicles, right? They beat us in the playoffs. Our team is better this year than last year. We got Bucky Irving as RB2, Jalen McMillan from the Huskies as our wide receiver 3 with Godwin and Evans. It's the best wide receiver 3 we've had in like 5 to 10 years. So, again, we're still going to, grind it out. And we might lose to the Lions, but there is a chance that we might be able to win next week. We need a little bit of payback. But if we end up losing to the Lions, you're not going to hear me bitch, moan, and cry about it. It's the Lions. They're a good team. Yeah, his deep passes were fire. I got him in fantasy, bro. 2 long passes and a score. AR played great, bro. If he plays like that, it wasn't because the offense, it was the defense that lost the game for the Colts. And you're going against the fucking Texans, who might end up being in the AFC Championship game or Super Bowl. Fucking CJ Stroud, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Nico Collins. There's not very many teams that have a better 5 guys than that. Let's be honest. It's a very good team this year for the Texans, and their defense is good too. So I don't think it was AR's fault. And again, it's a learning curve. You got to understand also too, A-Guy, he only played 3 or 4 games last year and then got hurt. So it's going to take time for him to get reps. And he's only played like 10 or 15 or 20 games total in his college career at Florida. So it's not like the guy was a 4-year starter. He's got all these accolades. Like, the guy has barely played football. He's just an athlete, But for fantasy purposes, I got him and Dak. And I like what I see. If AR plays like that every week, I'm going to win the fantasy championship, baby. Things do change, but sometimes things do remain the same. But, even though some of the short and intermediate throws were a little off, he had the best deep throws. He slipped on the first play and threw a 60-yard bomb in stride. No one else in the NFL did that this weekend. So, you might not be totally in on AR, but I am. Like I said, I feel that, again, if he can just stay healthy, there could be some really, special things for the Colts this season, but it's a big what if. That's why I have Dak Prescott as my backup, just in case AR ends up getting hurt. But I think he did learn his lesson, that he's going to be a little bit more careful on how he lands out of bounds, head first, feet first, sliding, and if he only takes the damage on the goal line like Cam, he'll be fine. It's about taking the damage from the 20 to the 20 that's going to get him hurt. And I think he learned his lesson from last year. So we'll see. But I like AR. So again, if I didn't believe in him, and I like to take chances in fantasy, I wouldn't have drafted him. So, but I also did draft Dak because of an insurance plan too. So I made sure I covered my bases. All right, we're going to overtime, baby. But again, out of all the throws that I saw this weekend, AR had the best touchdown throw for a deep ball that I've seen in week 1. I haven't seen anyone else throw a ball like that with that type of accuracy and depth. 50, 60 yards right on the money in the breadbasket, and he slipped. And that wasn't the only one. But if I can get 2 touchdowns in the air and 1 on the ground, I know that's not going to happen every game, but That's fantasy, baby. We gained another sub. There we go. 9,500 views on the Duck stream yesterday. Almost 10,000. Let's go. 2020, 10-minute overtime. 34 for 49, 317 yards with a TD and a pick. And Cooper Kupp, 14 receptions, ties a career high, 110 yards with a tutty. And I need him to be able to get another catch to break the record, baby. Yeah, but also with Buffalo, you can tell not having good receivers is going to be good for Josh Allen's fantasy, running the ball and trying to get fantasy points. But again, the absence of Diggs is going to be huge for Buffalo. I doubt that they're going to be in the playoffs this year. I mean, they ended up beating the Cardinals, but barely. But now he's got an injury to the hand, so we'll have to monitor Josh Allen. Hopefully he's okay. First down and 10 on the Detroit 30. Handoff, end around. Go. Khalif Raymond. First down, Lions. Great play call there. Where was that in the first half or in the third and fourth quarter? Come on, Ben Johnson. Where's that creativity like you had last year? Where is it? Yeah, Mixon is going to have the same type of impact as Saquon on the Eagles. Like I said, you've had guys play that position before, but not with the consistency like those guys now. Uh-oh, David Montgomery rumbling and a bumbling. First down, Lions. I tried getting Mixon in fantasy, but obviously Reflect beat me to it. Montgomery, good upper body strength, big, powerful legs. I loved having him in fantasy last year, even though he was the RB2 to Jahmyr Gibbs. He could still get you 10 to 15, even as an RB2, and there's not very many RB2s that can consistently get you 10 to 15. Handoff up the middle again. Look at him go. Wow. Nice job, Montgomery. Thunder and lightning. Thunder with Montgomery. Lightning is Gibbs. Strong arms, strong legs, good vision. Can take a big pop and not fumble. Nice job, DM. David Montgomery. Second down and 1. Goff under center. Pressure on the edge. Screen pass. Jahmyr Gibbs using that speed down the sideline. Knocks over a photographer. Hopefully he's okay. Or maybe it wasn't a photographer, just a sideline guest. This game started off really, really slow and low scoring, but it really picked up to being a very entertaining game here in the second half. I mean, even though I did enjoy the first half, with the defense, but I am a defensive guy, but I do want points as well. I mean, I don't think anyone would really enjoy a 3-0 or a 6-3 game, even if it was defense. Man in motion, handoff. Short gain by Jahmyr Gibbs. Second down and 7. Shotgun set. Handoff up the middle. David Montgomery pushing that pile to the LA 9 for 6 yards. Yeah, Puka had a knee injury today, too. Third and 1. At the LA 9. Goff. Montgomery. First down. Lions. Looking to push. Wow. All the way to the 1. Incredible. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you're new into the room and haven't smashed the like button yet, please do. Now, they don't got an answer. I mean, if Aaron Donald was playing still, they obviously would be able to still get some yardage. But again, there would be some probably pretty good double teams and good stuffs, by Aaron Donald. But Aaron Donald obviously retired. And, this era with the Rams is going to be a little bit different. But one thing is for sure, both defenses have improved dramatically. Other than the Aaron Donald loss, I didn't think the Ram defense was going to do this today. And they've actually held the Lions to 20, which is kind of impressive. With no Aaron Donald. And then the Lions defense has improved dramatically at corner, as well as form tackling and actually getting guys to wrap up and have a little bit more emphasis and a sense of urgency on that side of the ball. First and goal. And I know the Lions scored the touchdown, but I haven't got a chance to see it yet. Let me see the touchdown. Handoff. Montgomery, touchdown, Lions. And that is the game. I mean, there's nothing that they could do there. Even Aaron Donald wasn't going to be able to stop that. Touchdown, Detroit. Final score in overtime, 26-20 Lions. And they got my Buccaneers next week. I can't wait. Good win for Detroit. They're a very likable team. I think more people are rooting for Detroit than rooting from the Rams, right? They almost got a chance to go to the Super Bowl with a bad defense. Now they actually have a good defense. Could this be the year that the Lions, overtake the Niners and some of the upper echelon teams and they make it to the Super Bowl? Could we have like a Texans-Lions Super Bowl? You never know. Could be a possibility in the next couple years. The Texans are on the up and up, right? The Lions are on the up and up. Exciting time to be alive. David Montgomery. Well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to all the people that liked, subbed, donated, commented, and shared. I appreciate you guys very, very much, and I'll be live tomorrow for the Jets and the 49ers. And then when I wake up, I'll have to look at all of the games and decide which reaction videos that I want to be able to do. I don't know how many I'll be able to do tomorrow, maybe 1 or 2. We're only going to be probably doing 4 or 5 a week. And again, keep a lookout for that. And then we'll be doing Jets and Niners tomorrow, and then the Mariners and Padres on Tuesday. Appreciate you guys very, very much. I got to go eat dinner and take Paisley for a walk. And I got one question for you. Who talks sports like us? Your boy Orion, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang. Go Lions. Appreciate you too. Gang.